people injured in a suspected terrorist attack in an idyllic Christmas market in eastern Germany. That's what we're following at the top of the hour right now. Extensive police operations underway right after a car plowed into a crowd of people at the Magdeburg Christmas market west of Berlin. Right now, it is unclear if any of the injuries are life-threatening. Police haven't said whether a suspect has been arrested. Further updates are expected soon, but as of right now, the Christmas market is closed as first responders are on the scene.
The government shutdown continues, longer than any in history. I'm told this is a crisis.
Government shutdown crisis.
Another Trump-generated crisis.
This crisis. It's causing chaos, confusion, pain. It's just too much, say the Washington Post and New York Times. But wait a second. Looking around America, I have to ask, where's that crisis?
Back to Reese's and Chicks. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle. It's Friday, which means we're going to bring you this week's top news stories from around the country. But since this happened today, we're going to be hitting on a very tragic story that's also world news, which is a Christmas market attack in Germany where a driver has plowed through a crowd of people. I think I saw up to 60 injured and 11 dead. We will see what the updates on that are as we go through the evening, but absolutely devastating. Immediately, they're calling it a terror attack. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out and what the motive of the attacker was. I understand that the attacker has been arrested, which I find very interesting. That, you know, here in the United States, when these types of things happen, the shooter or the driver or whatever of a vehicle that does something like this, they end up dead. And across the pond in various nations, specifically also in Europe, they somehow end up alive. And I just find that really interesting. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about the shutdown circus. Hey, wait a minute. Now, I ain't got no headband. No, maybe. Just like it. Look how cute you are. Mom, get the other headband. Look, they can't see you. They can't see you yet. Are you having issues trying to connect to the internet? What's going on?
Well, it says just one of them says that I can't get on it.
Oh, okay. Just one. The other one. Patriot Gallery is using her new computer.
No, she's not. Are you on live?
Yeah, we're live right now.
How come I'm not getting anything?
I don't know. Leah's going to go help her out. All right, so we're going to talk about the government shutdown and the budget, where Chip Roy and Thomas Massie are, predictably, holding the line on that, and I'm so proud of them. You know, it seems like Thomas Massie, Rand Paul, you know, kind of the standard guys that every time the budget rolls around, they're like, we don't need all this extra stuff. And then everyone else, the rhinos, the left, are like, yes, we do. And now we have I'm calling them the Doge. Okay, it's the best thing. DOGE, the Doge, the Doge, whatever. Doge is stupid. Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy now, of course, they're not there yet, right? But it's like the threat of them being there is enough to... Let me have those ones. The threat of them is enough to, now I'm going to have bells the whole show. To have these people saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to get in line. I don't know if this is the one we're going to want tonight or not. We'll see.
No, it's perfect.
Is it? Okay. So you have to see what Leah already has on in order for to see why I had to have something matching, because I can't let her show me up, because that would be dumb. This is great. All right, so because I know you guys come for the seriousness of the program, but it is a serious night because the government shut down. But I love this John Stossel video, and I'm looking forward to playing the rest of that for you guys. John Stossel breaking down like, hey, I'm looking for the big emergency that they're trying to tell us that we're under. Because it seems like kids are still playing at the park. People are still going grocery shopping. It's the cutest thing ever. I love it. And your hair is adorable. Good job. Post 828 shut down the governments. Didn't a driver plow into a Christmas market last year too, says Sherry.
I don't know if it was last year, but
it does happen. It's a little weird.
Happens a lot.
That it does keep happening there.
All the time. It's why I would love to go to Christmas market. Ain't going to go. Not in Germany. No, it's not going to happen.
I'm trying to make my hat comfortable enough. That's why it's not looks. I just want to make sure my ears aren't getting squished. Okay, so breaking news.
Yeah.
Literally.
Okay.
Our dryer broke. Breaking news from Resistance Chicks. I know we do world news. We do domestic news. We're covering it from up, down, and in between. Meaning we also have to bring the fact that our beloved dryer of 15 years, something like that, has broken. And before that, it had lived a life of at least 20 before it was given to us.
Maybe
because
not
it was
that
too
much,
old.
but it was an older one.
10, whatever. And it just kept kicking. And when we got our new washing machine a few months ago, they were like, you need a dryer to go with this. And we were like, no.
No,
we don't.
Don't fix
Ain't broke, don't fix it. We got this dryer. It's going to keep going till kingdom come. And you know what happened? Lee and I own a pet care business. Over the years, including our own personal experience, when one dog dies, very shortly after... The dryer went into mourning and decided it couldn't live without the washer anymore.
It's true.
And it died.
Yeah.
And that happens. You see it with husbands and wives a lot, too. I'm just saying, these things happen. So we have a new dryer. It's not just a new dryer. It's a whole new experience. A whole new drying experience. Patriot Gallery, tells me she dried a load on medium in 35 minutes today. Why is it a more efficient dryer? Because we have upgraded to gas.
We had to find that gas line.
I knew it existed because I knew it was there when we drywalled.
So we have refinished the basement. If you didn't notice, this basement was one of those basements.
Like the kind you go in and you're like, oh.
Water, mold.
Although I've been in worse.
Concrete.
I don't want to call anybody out, but we have people that live around us, they got a worse basement.
No, not when we first got here. No,
I'm telling you, that direction, that one, the ceiling's lower, it's damper, it's darker, it's scarier. I'm just saying. This one was never that. It was almost, but it was like...
We had 2 feet of trash in it.
Yes, it did.
And all kind of right. It felt like...
When you came down here, it smelled musty. When you go down there, it just smelled like a cave.
I'm just telling you that when we first got here to take care of my grandma...
It was bad.
It felt like the Star Wars trash compactor.
Yeah.
And that the walls would cave in. Mm-hmm. It was a bigger basement then, though.
Well, we've walled it. We've put up walls and stuff.
Every time you drywall, you lose just... It was.
But we tore down a wall.
We did.
So, all right. So anyway, we have a new dryer that's gas powered, and I'm super excited about it because we already have a gas stove, a gas furnace, which we don't really use because we use the wood burning stove, and a gas stove, which I love.
So Jesus, keep us safe.
Matt, this is why I'm calling this out, because this is breaking news. I love that he can literally do anything. Michelle says, we have a gas line. I would like a gas dryer. Matt, make it happen. Boom. Happen.
I had to discover something, though.
Yeah.
We had to change out. I did not know this. You're not supposed to use regular foil, certainly not the plastic vents.
Right.
For a gas.
It's got to be kind of a more rigid, flexible
So you've
hose.
got to use real metal, either the rigid. This is the DIY show, by the way, because that's what we do.
You don't come here just for news.
So you've got to use either. I spent about 2 hours, about an hour and a half, researching this with Matt to see what we need. I watched This Old House.
The cutest
I watched
little elf thing on your head.
Several YouTubes last night.
Yeah.
On which vent you need. The This Old House guy used I think he used a foil one, but you're not supposed to. The comment section, because I read the comment sections too.
Oh.
We're like, This Old House guy used a foil vent, and everybody's like, "You gonna question This Old House?"
No, you don't.
You don't question.
I would never.
This Old House
Nope.
guys. You just don't do it, right? But
And they're New England
fortunately, it wasn't super expensive, and he was able to get the metal accordion.
Yep.
So it's a semi-rigid, and so in case you ever do this,
Yep.
you have to have the right tape. You have to have the
Goop.
gas.
I call it goop. It's gas goop.
line goop or gas line tape. Matt used the tape. Yeah.
You know what happened when we did the gas line that goes in the studio? We moved where our stove is in the kitchen, and we moved it. And for the longest time, we'd come down here and it would just have dripped. The goop it's pretty goopy. So I'm down with the tape. All right.
Is it goopy?
It's goopy. Yeah, and it's yucky.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of fun. Every time we do something that's going to be like potential danger, everybody has a gas dryer, right? You'll be fine. Everything will be fine. I have a gas water heater. Everything will be fine. So I always go the extra mile, 2, 3, 10. But it was fun watching Matt and I draw like a plumb line and try to find where
The gas line was, because Michelle said it was there, and you could see it in the ceiling.
you could see the ceiling, but we had drywalled over. I don't know why we didn't leave a little.
I don't know.
Access panel, because we did for the something else. Yeah. So Matt and I just he guessed. He's like, I bet it's 2 feet above the ground. So I measured down and he measured up.
Yeah.
And we just put
Did
a
you
mark.
use the jiggly?
And he used the jiggly.
Well,
It went zzz,
what is that thing called? A reciprocating something or other? Not a reciprocating saw. It's a little handheld
it's a little
thing.
handheld
We call
thing.
it the jiggly.
So he makes this little box, and I was like, and he put his hand in there. Oh, so he's got it. So he's got to make it a little bit bigger.
Y'all
so
were
nice
doubting,
little
you
box.
were doubting me whether it was there.
Not when I saw the line in the ceiling go to nowhere and then down. So I knew that somebody had a gas line at some point for a gas dryer.
Sure. So,
but then the question is when.
I know. So now this is new adventures here. And this is where Leah and I go, like, I really do think that our life show would be a better show than like Kardashians.
I do.
Because Leah calls me at a panic, and I'm checking out a Hobby Lobby, and you're calling me, and you're like,
this is
you don't
level
understand.
10.
I'm at level 10, and I'm checking out, and I told Leah, I said, I'm checking out. I literally said this. I said, I'll call you back with your level 10 in just a few minutes. And she's like, okay.
I don't know. It's going to be like another $70 or $80 just to get the vent, and it's going to be awful.
Okay,
So
I have to read this comment in the chat. Good evening, Resistance Chicks family. This is from Chris. I received the Oil of Joy collection today, and it was so much greater than I expected. I'm so grateful for these Christmas blessings. I felt the presence of the Lord the moment I opened it, and I'm so thankful for these great blessings. Immediately prayed and anointed myself and my precious dog. The Christmas card encouraged and inspired me so much that I have already prayed for and anointed a friend earlier today, and I am planning on many, many more prayers and my loved ones. Thank you both so much. You are so welcome. I'm going to announce this right now, and I'm going to announce it later in the show because I want to make sure that everybody that's here today gets to see. But as of tomorrow, our brand new Hope Tallow face and body butter will be on the Resistance Chick store.
So if you have religious convictions against pigs,
right,
which it's your thing, that's
or
okay.
you just prefer beef tallow over now Mom said yesterday, she said you can call lard tallow. It's all tallow. It's just a different, I guess that's a form of like rendering fat.
Really? She looked that up?
So that's what she said. So there's pork tallow and beef tallow, I guess. But this is beef tallow, and it has Hope. Where is she? Here she is. Wait, watch. Oh, she's the cutest. It has Hope the heifer on the front. And this one has a little bit more cocoa butter in it.
Okay.
And a little bit more of certain essential oils. I have it written down upstairs. Only because the beef tallow, it doesn't...
it's not as hard.
Well... No. It's not as hard, number one, but the smell is not bad at all. Actually, I found it very, very pleasant when I was working with it raw before I even put it in there. I was like, it smells florally. It's very, very sweet. But when it finished, I felt like it was lacking. Like when I open this up, I smell so much cocoa butter. Like it's just like all you smell is cocoa butter. And so I really put more cocoa butter in here. So that makes it, I mean, cocoa butter's not cheap. Let me tell you that right now. So I did put a little bit more cocoa butter in here. So I would like for you guys, if you have an aversion to anything pork, whatever, you can now go, if you've been waiting for this to show up at the store so you can get the rest of the items, like Chris was referencing the anointing oil.
You can get the oil, you can get the whole package.
You can
now
get the whole,
with
I will
the
make an
tallow
option
this time.
so that you can get the whole Oil of Joy collection.
But with the tallow.
With the
version.
tallow in place of this.
Now remember, one of the reasons that we use the lard is that pigs, not cows,
have the
pigs
pH balance is exact to a human almost.
Like you can't take a cow organ and put it in human, but they've been taking pig organs and putting
You
it in
need
human.
lungs. They can give you pig lungs, I think.
Right. So I
know they can give you other ones,
lard
like
is
kidneys and stuff.
actually like the same as your skin.
Yeah.
As human skin.
Right.
So that's why we like the lard. But if you have a religious, they're both great. They're both the same in my opinion.
I think they smell different,
But
though.
if you
They
have-
smell... Yeah, okay, I want Leah to smell the difference. Smell that. That's the beef.
It smells the same.
The beef tallow. And then this is the lard tallow.
It smells the same.
No, it doesn't.
It
It smells
smells the
different to
same.
me.
It
Okay, well,
smells
I'm glad it
exactly
smells
the
the
same.
same to Leah. So Hope the Heifer is our new little mascot for the...
So Michelle writes me a note today.
I did.
It was a really great note.
Actually, I wrote it on the
was really
16th. I
great.
just now gave it
It's
to
filled
you.
with the power of God. And then she's like, I woke up today and I was like, I just had the word of faithfulness, Leah Faith, and it was really encouraging. And then she's like, then I looked up your name and it could mean, it could mean weary one, Leah, but can also mean wild cow.
Wild cow. Now, Leah's middle name is Faith. I had wanted to name this cow Faith, and Leah's like, no, I like Hope. So it's good. Faith is gonna have to be like the next mascot of like sheep or something like that. I already have
Faith the sheep.
Charity the chicken.
Charity
That's
the
the
chicken.
perfect name, right? So
It
as
has to
different
be.
products come out. So tomorrow we will be launching. Super excited about it. Hope the Heifer
I think the sheep
face
should
and body
be the eye pillows.
body butter tallow.
For sure.
What do you mean? You think
The
I
eye
should?
pillow should be the sheep. This should be the sheep.
Okay, like flax, like a field.
Faith the sheep. Yeah.
Faith the sheep on the eye pillows. Okay.
Yeah, I think
All right,
so.
so shop.resistancechicks.com if you guys want to go over there and make your order now that if you've been waiting on the tallow, it is now available, and I'm super uber excited. So thank you, Chris, for putting that in the chat. I also received an amazing message from Beth. I hope nobody
Because
minds.
we had a mix-up. Oh my goodness. We told you guys about this. We had to call. I went into the post office, like, where's this package? Can you help me find these packages? We accidentally mailed the same label.
It was a glitch. It wasn't even our fault. It was a glitch in the system.
It happened because of the app. And
it keeps happening, but now we have a check
to make
in
sure.
place to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, so Beth got 3 packages and they got stuck in the Missouri distribution center. And it got stuck there for days and days and days.
And then I made it stink. And then I made it
And
stink.
they found it, and then she had to pay the postage.
And then she had to pay the postage for the other 2. So she's like, I'll just buy the other 2. So I had already repackaged and sent out the ones that were missing. Sherry, I hope you got yours. Sherry Kula in the chat. And I think there was a Gail's also. It was a mess, and you guys are amazing. And Anne mailed Carol's out to her, and Carol sent me an email today that she got hers, and she's so excited. Which Anne in New York had to forward Carol's to Carol. So I'm going to read Beth's email and then read Carol's, and then we'll move on to the actual news. She says, so anyway, so she wanted to buy the products that came extra. And I said, that's fine. But we'll give you a discount. So she says, howdy, thank you for offering the discount price. God would bless you and your generosity, but I am going to send you the normal amount because your product is worth it. It is difficult to start a new business and there are always hiccups, but I don't think you should lose money because of it. I believe in paying fairly and I want to be supportive of your venture. I pray that God richly blesses your business. Plus, Leah needs a new car. LOL, I am sending the check today. I've tried the tooth powder this morning and I love it! Exclamation point. I also use the deodorant and I also love it. I have made it myself a couple of times, but I like yours much better. I also wanted to mention that I am enjoying your Christmas carols. I'm sure they are a blessing a lot of people. My sister and I have sung together for years. Whenever she comes home, we always do a special at church. I am a soprano and she is a contralto, so it works well. Sister singing is the best, isn't it? I also wanted to say that I love that you were homeschooled. My mom homeschooled my younger brothers and nephew, and my sister did her girls also. I wasn't able to have children, but if I had, they would have been as well. I admire how you live your lives and share your faith and convictions. May God richly bless your family today and always. Beth. Last one here I'm going to read, and then we'll move on to the news. Carol says, now Carol just found us. I think because of the Daystar stuff. And she made an order like right at the grand opening. And when I told her there was two collections, so it's a pretty big order. And so I emailed her and I said, there's been this mix up or whatever. And then I hadn't followed up because we were still waiting on how we were going to do the shipping with Ann and this, that, and the other. And so then she sends me a message. She said, I did receive your thing, but like, I'm just checking. So I called her.
She received your message.
She received my message, but like it had been a few days. She's like, I'm just checking. So it was as soon as
I said, scammers.
No, it was the most adorable little accent that she has. It was very Southern. And she's like, I just wasn't sure because I just found y'all. It was so cute. And I was like, first on the phone, I said, Carol. She goes, yes. I said, this is Michelle. She says, I recognized your voice.
Oh my goodness.
So Carol says, I just received your box today and I am very excited to use it immediately. I'm taking one set to my daughter in Texas. My daughter lived in Ireland for 7 years. She educated us about how products and food were different in Europe. We do search for clean skincare and products. We support local farmers and avoid toxins. I was very eager to try your homemade goodies. I am lucky that I found your podcast and your new products. Hope you much success in your ventures. You both have the heart of being Christ followers. You share the Bible view versus the world view. Your hearts are open to do the work that God has a calling on your lives. God bless you and your families.
I'm gonna cry.
I know. So I had to read those because they like made my whole day.
I'm gonna cry.
And it smells amazing too. Barry says, Michelle, I got a challenge for you. Try to make vegan tallow body butter. So that actually,
you can.
You totally can.
See, here's the thing. Everybody does that.
And I don't want to do that.
That's the thing. So most people use soy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, I feel like soy damages your endocrine system.
But you can skip the soy altogether and you can just use all the other ingredients that are in our body butters here, like aloe vera, black seed oil, castor oil, cocoa butter, coconut oil, olive oil, shea butter, vitamin E oil. Can. So those are the base. That's the base of the tallow.
Then you have a deodorant. That's what my deodorant's made out of.
So here they are. I'm super uber. Look at they're so cute together.
No, I will tell you that when we had those package mix up, I
gut punch.
Just went into panic mode. I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
I think both of us cried at some point.
It was like, this cannot be happening. But like, honestly, I told Michelle afterwards, like, we could have just laughed. That might have been
here's the thing.
Helpful.
Worth covering, Leah. Can we shift to news now with this? Because you were telling me what happened.
With Daystar or what?
No, the Postal Service. I'm here to tell y'all something. We haven't figured out how to switch over, and we could, from using USPS to like UPS or FedEx or something like that. But there were packages. I want everybody to know that we paid for 2-day shipping for all y'all's packages.
We paid for 2 or 3 day, whatever the shortest.
And
one
most everybody got them in like 7 days.
I know.
And I was looking at some of them that were getting stuck at these distribution centers, and I'm like, move. I'm like willing to kick it. I'm like, we paid. Do we get a refund?
No.
What's going on with the post office?
I don't know.
And so you said that the Postmaster General was brought up before Congress.
Yeah, he was being interviewed by.
And what did he say? It's just going to get worse.
It's just going to get worse.
He says, we don't have enough employees. And I'm going like, this is news. So we're shifting to news here.
No, not that they don't have enough employees. Is that they're cutting. They have to make cuts somewhere.
So no, they don't.
So Josh Hawley was interviewing him. And in Missouri, what they're going to do is they're going to skip all of the rural outposts and their pickup at the end of the day. So I guess they're just going to, when they drop in the morning, they'll do their pickup then. They normally pick up at the end of the day too. Okay. So the Postmaster General was like, it'll only affect the rural outposts. And Josh Hawley said that accounts for over 3/4 of all the outposts in my state. And so he goes, but it's only going to affect people sending mail. He's like, it's cool. Yeah, people send mail and they need it to get out and they need it to be collected at their post office.
What do you mean it's only going to affect people sending mail? That means it's going to affect the people that are receiving the mail.
I know. Like people
Donald
in
Trump,
Missouri
does the president appoint the Postmaster General?
So what that means is that if you have a business, like an eBay business or something in Missouri, you are literally going to be 1 day behind on all of your shipping.
Does the president appoint the Postmaster General? Mm-hmm. So Trump, you had better get somebody in there. Because here's the thing that I'm thinking. I said this to my friend Catherine. See, we Bob's big boy, Frisch's big boy right here going under.
Big boy's going under. You know what else is going under? What? The other B. Big Lots.
Oh, yeah.
Going under bunder.
You know why? Because they shifted to try to be like
a little.
I need to make a point here, so don't get me sidetracked.
Well, I was just doing news.
My friend Catherine was telling me how her dad and her mom refused to go to Frisch's anymore because they kept the price the same on, like, say, a Big Boy, but they shrunk the size. So here's what Catherine said, and and this ties into the post office because this is how I feel about it. She said her dad was so incredulous. Just don't lie to me. Okay? If you gotta raise the price of the Big Boy, raise the price of the hamburger. Okay? And if you're here to tell me that my package ain't gonna get there for 7 days, but it's gonna cost the same as what you're telling me it's gonna get there for 2 to 3 days, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Just be honest with me. I want to know how much it's going to cost me to literally get it there in 2 to 3 days. And if the only option is you got to pay that $15 price to get it there in 7 days, then I need to know that I am not being given informed consent at the post office. And here's the other beef that I have, Leah, speaking of patties. All right?
Right.
The post office is a business. It's a business, which means product. The stamps and the postage are a product. If you have to make cuts, you need to raise the price of your products. This is what's so ridiculous to me. I get that there's FedEx and I get that there's UPS and all this, that, and the other, okay? But people are always going to need the U.S. Postal Service. And they need it now more than ever because there's people like Leah and I who now have a business, many stores. So the post office should, in theory, because of people like you and I have risen, there's so many online stores out there, the post office should be booming in business. So if they have to make cuts while business is booming, you need to explain that to me.
I know what it is.
It hits home and it's personal now, man.
It's all of the retirement and all the wokeness. But yeah, Big Lots. How many of you guys remember Big Lots, Odd Lots, where you go get weird stuff? They changed how they did their store like 2 years ago. So the discount retail store Big Lots, they took away the Odd Lots, it's just Big Lots, announced Thursday it will initiate going out of business sales at all of its remaining locations after it was unable to reach an agreement with an investment firm. In parallel with these efforts, the company is preparing to commence going out of business sales at all remaining Big Lots store locations in the coming days to protect the value of its estate. Interesting. That's interesting. The company said, which added that Big Lots will continue to serve customers in-store and online and will provide updates as available. Big Lots CEO said in a statement that Big Lots attempted to complete a sale of the company to Nexus Capital Management, but it fell through. And said the company will, in the meantime, attempt to close the deal with Nexus or another party by early next month. We have all worked extremely hard and have taken every step. So will they go out of business? The thing that they're doing, it says Big Lots has listed assets and liabilities in the range of $1 billion to $10 billion, according to the file. So, well, we'll see if Big Lots will be around.
Let me read some comments over here. Barry says, hey, Michelle, I sent yours and Leah's prezzies 2 days ago. Hopefully they'll be there by Christmas or just after. Typical Royal Mail at Airmail, they won't give a time scale. So Horatio sent, I don't know when he mailed it. Horatio sent us a package from the UK, from Yorkshire. We've totally gotten into all things great and all creatures great and small on
definitely
BBC.
A family
it's
show.
Like the greatest show. It fills my whole heart with joy. Little did I know that these James Herriot books, this series, are a British classic, kind of like Little House on the Prairie here is, right? So they have an old television series that Barry had sent us, which we haven't been able to watch yet, Barry, because I don't have a DVD player that'll play it. But when I'm going to get one, because I'm in the market for a new DVD player, but I have to figure out what kind I need to get that'll play your DVDs. Now, I'm very much looking forward to watching the whole series, the older one. However, Horatio told me I need to read the books. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. There's books. So then he sent me the whole series of books, which was super uber exciting. And I think it got here fairly quickly. Sherry says they probably mismanaged everything at Big Lots. Donna says my Big Lots already closed this year. I've seen 2. So we have one in Anderson that's going out of business right now. One in our Eastgate. Both of these are within 15 minutes of us, already completely closed down. Becky says, hi, Chris. So glad you're doing well. Isn't the oil of joy amazing? 7 Ange says, at least your post office is still working. Ours was on strike until 2 days ago, so most people did not bother with Christmas cards. That's like super sad.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Where's that at?
All right, let me go over here to YouTube, see if there's anything over here. Why does that always seem to happen? A mess up with the labels. Catherine, I don't know. I don't know. have no idea why that, but we have put into place. And today, I organized my
I
little
saw
shop.
it.
Did you
The
see it?
shop
Isn't
is
it
so organized.
cute?
It's so great.
I'm so excited. Now we can send out our own Christmas packages, which I'm looking forward to. All right, Leah, I'm ready to pull up your tabs. Are they all open?
They will be in a second. I just need
Okay.
that John Stossel one. Do you have the John Stossel one?
I have it downloaded.
Okay, that'll be great. Yeah, so guys, this is breaking news. There has been an attack.
Oh, that's not John Stossel, though.
I don't have John Stossel up. That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
okay.
I said, do you have it? Yeah, so I don't get internet down here, so you'll have to, until I figure out how to get my Ethernet thing plugged
You
in.
aren't getting internet from this right here?
No, because I'm not plugged in because I don't have the thing.
But this, just log into this right here, the Netgear.
Is there another? Oh. I think that, didn't know that was.
There's an option. Boom. All right, Ontario, Canada is where 7Ange is. Well, then that makes total sense why you guys... And I heard about that. I forgot about that. But I'm glad that they aren't on strike anymore because I have a friend in Canada that I will be sending a Christmas card to. All right, so let's open up these other tabs. And so, Leah, tell them a little bit about the attack before I open this up.
So in Germany, there was a car that just went through... What's so sad...
You say it like a car, like it's the car itself.
No, there was a car. It was a car. It was drove
By
through.
itself?
Yeah, it was a man in a car that drove through the barriers and just ran a bunch of people over.
Hang on. You're saying a car by itself with no human.
There was a car with a human in it.
So the car didn't run through the crowd of people. That's why I was just joking. You said a car ran through people. I said, no, a person driving the car. That's like a gun. A gun went and shot up a school. No,
There
a
was
man drove through a crowd of people.
Okay. There was a car and it drove through a bunch of people. We I don't know if it's at least
I am struggling to find your computer here. Can you see it? So it's not that one. That one's mine. Is it? It's not that one up there, is it?
no.
Okay. And that's just going to be the tabs from everybody.
I'm in Google.
Are you sure you're in Google?
Oh, I know what I'm not signed in.
Verify it's you.
I need to sign in.
Okay, there we go. Now I can pull up your tabs. So we're now confirming it was a human being driving a car that drove through a crowd of people, injured up to 60 people, and
60 to 80 people.
killed 11 people.
Well, so
at least.
the numbers keep changing, but
Well, that
killed a lot
happened the
of
other day
people.
with the shooting, right?
Yeah.
The initial of, how many people were killed was
At
much
least
higher.
2 dead, 60 injured after car
Well,
attack.
our title says 11 because Leah said 11. So
That's
we're going
what they
with
said
11.
on
I know
Twitter.
that it's always less
on
than
attack
it is.
on German Christmas market, Saudi driver arrested. So the Fox News Martha McCallum was like, well, we don't really know what happened. He's from Saudi Arabia. He drove through the Christmas market. Somebody said he was Syrian. Okay. So at least 2 dead, at least 60 injured. When we have breaking news like this, guys, I can only bring to you what we have now. Somebody said Syrian. Now Zero Hedge says Saudi. I'm going to, as we go through the show, we're going to bring to you, I want to bring to you the most accurate information. So it is obviously some sort of, it's not letting me sign in. That's
I see that. I mean, let me just go to YouTube history and we'll start with a video while you're looking for the rest of that. How about that?
Okay.
We're gonna get it together here. Finish your thought.
That is my thought.
Oh, okay. Well, we're both doing things, so one of us has to talk.
This is like, I've been trying out, Mom got a new computer. I've been trying out her computer and Microsoft keeps making me sign in.
Alex Hogan.
Here we go. All right, we're going
AP
to start with this
reports
video.
that at least 2 people are dead and at least 60 injured in what authorities suspect was an attack. The driver of the car was arrested shortly after. The car barreled into the market.
Good
Now, the
afternoon,
sad thing
everyone.
is that these
Are you plugged in?
markets, yes, these markets have had to put up barriers to keep cars from running over people because Europe opened its doors to people that hate them, that want to kill them in mass numbers. And then they are military-age men coming over, being given asylum, being given money, and they don't have much else to do. And so, lo and behold, we've already given place to terrorists, It was terrorists in Turkey that overthrew Assad. Bad guys overthrowing bad guys does not mean good guys. This is not a negative times a negative equals a positive. And so when you've got upheaval in the Middle East, then for some reason, somebody dials 1-800 grant me a terrorist and does something stupid in Europe. Okay?
Oh, I think one of our phones probably needs to let you in. That's what the problem is. All right, let's go over here and we'll listen to Martha McCallum.
Martha McCallum, and this is the story you've been watching, this breaking news coming out of a Christmas market in Germany. These are the live shots that we're getting in, brand new video that you see on your screen as you see a very large emergency response on the scene at this location. We're waiting for information on potential casualties. We understand that a car drove directly into a Christmas market in Germany. We do not know if it was intentional. We don't know if this was an accident. You know, we certainly, either one could be the reality in this case at this point. But very large presence of first responders on the scene there. And we understand that a driver has been arrested. An official calling this is the first quote that we have out of this, out of the location where this happened, a terrible event, particularly now in the days before Christmas. Correspondent Alex Hogan covering this for us from her perch in London and joining me now with what we know at this hour. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Martha. So as you mentioned, this breaking news here tonight across Europe, really sending shockwaves as people were heading out to weekend plans, potentially going to many of these Christmas markets that have popped up, you know, really all across the continent that are very popular around this time of year. And tonight, instead of seeing that, this is the scene at one of those markets in Germany. This was earlier tonight. We know that there are reports that we are still following right now of a car reportedly driving into one of those crowds at a market. This, as we are seeing more and more ambulances arrive on site, more police arrive on site. There's no confirmation just yet as to how many people potentially could be wounded after this car. But you can imagine the extent of the damage that would likely occur in this type of situation. Local media reports that a driver was taken into custody and that this person had been driving at a high speed toward the town hall, plowing into the crowd, and local police are also calling this an extensive investigation. They have closed down the city center where that Christmas market is. And I want to bring up a map. We can show you exactly where this took place in Germany. This is in the eastern German city of Magdeburg. It's about 2 hours from Berlin. And the events tonight are also triggering painful memories from the past. In 2016, this is the scene when a car, it was a truck actually, plowed into a crowd at another Christmas market in Berlin, killing a dozen people, and then a 13th person died about 5 years later, showing that even though people could be killed in an event like this, the long-standing injuries could last years. Martha.
Yeah, well,
all right, Alex, thank you very much. We are going to be getting some new images from this and a lot of reporting on social media, as is always the case in these situations. We have no estimates at this point in terms of potential casualties. Clearly, there are people who are wounded in this situation. And as you just heard, there is someone who is in custody in Magdeburg, Germany, at a Christmas market. And as you've been hearing over the past several minutes, obviously, you know, these are very popular tourist events and also local community places where people of all ages gather just days before Christmas. So we're keeping a very close eye on that. And we will continue. We'll go back there.
All right.
So this, go ahead and bring up the rest of my tabs.
Okay.
Out of the BBC, they aren't going to mention Islam. 50-year-old Saudi Arabian, they decided that they're going to just kind of speculate at why he might have done this. And maybe he lost his job, or maybe he just got divorced, because people lose their job, go randomly run people over during Christmas time.
No, they don't.
They obviously do not.
All right, you want me to pull that one up?
I just retweeted it, so you're not.
Right here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1 second.
The BBC is a disgrace.
Everything they say is lying. Is a lie. You can't believe anything.
Because they can't say any. They know why. They know why.
Wait a minute.
Now we're frozen.
No, we're not frozen. I'm just switching screens. These are all the tabs.
Frozen on the screen.
Yeah, sort of. Frozen is a general term. So close to not being frozen.
The suspect is a 50-year-old Saudi doctor who came to Germany in 2006. Saxony on Anhalt's interior minister. You might as well just.
I can't do anything yet.
Screen. Okay.
Stuck.
Okay.
So yes, I am frozen. There it goes.
As things stand.
No, you don't.
He is a lone perpetrator, so that as far as we know, there is no further danger to the city.
All right, here we go.
So that's the moment of arrest there, according to MDR News. And just want to bring back in Christian Kaunert, EU counter-terror expert and international security and policing professor at the University of South Wales. If we could just pick up, Christian, from the moment there we saw those police officers, guns drawn, individual on the ground, being arrested, taken away. What happens now from the police, from the security services? What are the questions that are going to be asked? What are the investigations that are going to be ongoing now?
Yeah, so the profile of the terror suspect is quite unusual, actually. When you look at the profile, he's a 50-year-old doctor, a Saudi citizen. 50-year-old is usually, when you look at terror plots in Europe, right across Europe or even outside of Europe, 50 years old is quite an old terror suspect. Usually you'd have terror suspects that are much younger than that. You'd have suspects that are maybe in their 20s, maybe in their early 30s. The age that he has is very unusual. So I'd be asking very clearly what the motivation here is. Is he acting even on his own accord? Because a 50-year-old person who is perpetrating that is very unusual. I'd be wanting to know his family circumstances. Is he married? Does he have children? All of that would make this attack ever more unusual at that particular profile. And certainly in terms of who might have helped.
Let's bring in Frank Gardner now, who has just been standing by for us. So Frank, just talk us through your analysis of what we know about what's happened so far.
Well, okay, this is unfortunately not the first time that somebody has used Christmas and Christmas markets in Europe, and particularly in Germany, to ram a car into a load of people. So the immediate suspicions will be that this is some kind of terrorist plot inspired by outside, from outside. Very minimal details so far that at roughly 7 o'clock local time, a dark BMW went through the crash barriers in the town of Magdeburg. For those who are just joining us, town in central Germany, roughly halfway between Hanover and Berlin, and crowded Christmas market, people out 5 days before Christmas doing their shopping. And this is something that Germany does particularly well. It's a major tourist attraction and therefore a major potential target for any terrorists. And I think the worrying thing here is that, okay, we still don't know exactly the motive. And as your previous commentator was saying there, 50 is a very unusually high age for somebody to be carrying out something like this. There are often more than one reason why somebody would want to do this. It's not always purely terrorism. It's not purely ideology. It can be mental. There could be all sorts of reasons. Stress that they're undergoing. They might have been fired. They might have their wife or partner has left them. They might be extremely upset about something.
So
but there have been a number of there have been a number of similar attacks like this.
Okay, that's a bunch of bullhonky.
I don't know. I don't know that that's what you want to say, but I can kind of see where they're coming from in, when the school shooters are just super depressed, they want to take other people down with them. So if he was super depressed in something and he wanted to take his own life, take other people with him, that is a possibility, not a probability.
It's not probable because they have done these Christmas market attacks before in the past, and they have been successful. The whole point behind being a terrorist is to change something. So there have been places that historically have done Christmas markets for decades that no longer do them anymore because of this anymore.
Because he didn't just like shoot himself at the end, or he didn't blow himself up.
Right.
You know, so this was definitely, you know, just to harm people.
Yeah.
15 of the injured were hurt very seriously, and 2 people were confirmed to have died. Were an adult and a toddler.
Oh, jeez.
And speculation on anybody else dying. The Christmas market in Marburg was an attack. A city spokesperson stated it was an attack on the Christmas market. So
obviously,
the car plowed into the crowd in the suspected terrorist attack. Well, it reported that the suspected perpetrator is in police custody. Security sources told the outlet that the male driver is Saudi Arabian origin and was born in 1974. Elon Musk says Schultz should resign immediately. This is reportedly footage of I think we saw another angle of the arrest, I guess.
Where the guy gets out of the car. That's the perpetrator on the other side.
Wow.
I can't believe these people are just stopping to watch, though.
I know, right?
Look at this lady and this guy. Just like,
isn't that crazy?
She's got
How do you
bag in her
know
hand.
that they don't have a bomb? How do you know the car's not going to blow up?
I would be out of there.
Maybe they're thinking they're there to help until more police arrive, because there's only 2 guys there. Isn't there? Like, I only see 2. Because then later on...
Well, as soon as this ambulance gets here, it's full of police officers.
Right.
And then they all rush out. And,
right. You can... Wow.
What, are they all afraid he has a bomb?
I would be. But they're all definitely standing distance. Unfortunately, World War II movies have ruined me, so that every time I hear a German accent, it's always bad guys.
I know.
Always bad guys, never good guys. I mean,
it makes you racist.
It's always...
So Sherry says, evidently they need better crash barriers. Barry says, the UK has anti-ram blockades, concrete blocks everywhere in virtually every city and town to separate people from cars because of the risk of cars ramming people in terrorist attacks now. 7 says, in Magdeburg, they have one of the largest Christmas markets in Germany.
And that's finally when all the...
emergency vehicles showed up.
Just tons and tons and tons. Yeah, I don't know that it was an easy shot, though. Like...
Ich weiß nicht, ob du es siehst, da liegt einer, da liegt einer, da liegt einer. Muss ja voll durchgeballert sein. Die räumen gerade den ganzen Weihnachtsmarkt.
Still a lot of people just smiling around, isn't there?
Yeah, I wouldn't be there.
You just kind of run.
Christmas is the most dangerous time in Germany right now. What happens if you let your Christian country be overrun by a bunch of illegal immigrants, and because you incentivize this crime, many of them have a background of Islamic fundamentalism, an imperialist agenda, and a lack of morals? Well, the German government apparently just thought, let's fuck around and find out. And find out we do, because now we have received new terror threats in Germany from ISIS, because the German government just made it too damn easy for them to infiltrate.
Well, I don't want to listen to her if she's going to be cursing the whole time.
Just
like,
I'm
dead serious.
She's German.
I know, but that doesn't excuse, like, if she's literally going to curse the whole time.
These immigration flows.
Ein geheimes BKA-Papier belegt die Gefahr von islamistischen Anschlägen auf
Weihnachtsmarkt.
Dem Papier zufolge, das der Bild vorliegt, sei die Gefahr von Anschlägen anhaltend abstrakt hoch. Konkrete Vorbereitungen zu
But the criminal office is not aware of any specific measures to prepare for attacks on Christmas markets, though there are indeed announcements from ISIS that they will commit such attacks. In December 2017, an Islamic terrorist drove a truck into the Christmas market at Berlin and killed 13 people.
Nancy Faeser, our Interior Minister, warns the people, be careful at the Christmas markets. But to make you feel a little more comfortable and to pretend like we care about you, we have imposed knife bans. And we made it harder for large vehicles to approach the Christmas market, particularly the one in Berlin, because In 2016, an Islamic terrorist actually drove into the Berlin Christmas market and killed 12 people. Nancy Faeser, however, ironically, the Interior Minister, is known as the hate crime censorship queen because she prosecutes citizens, has banned alternative media for migration criticism, and just recently, when David Bendels, the editor-in-chief of Deutschland Kurier, challenged her and posted a meme of her saying, "I hate free speech," she immediately put him on trial to send him to jail if he refuses to pay enormous fines because he got charged with a hate crime. Isn't that hypocritically ironic? So Nancy, let me just ask you one question. Whom should I be careful around at the Christmas markets? Is it white German men wearing Jack Wolfskin jackets and holding gingerbread hearts in their hands? If I was to point out the actual demographic that we should probably be a little bit more cautious around during this time at the Christmas markets, then I might have to expect to have my family's home raided. This is not a joke. Tutu policing is a problem of European tyranny that is brutally enforced, artificial, suicidal empathy. But as if all this wasn't bad enough, let me just tell you another crazy related news story. A 26-year-old woman was attending the Christmas market in Berlin and she started singing the song L'amour toujours. Do you remember that one? A couple of months ago it was turned into a meme because a bunch of young vacationers on the island Sylt changed the lyrics to say, "Germany for the Germans, foreigners out." But you don't quite understand how controversial this song got in Germany. You can get in real trouble if you sing it in public, and it was even banned from the Oktoberfest this year. So when this woman started singing the song at the Christmas market, the police immediately came for her. And now she's being investigated and charged with Volksverhetzung. This is a pretty harsh crime because it typically is used against actual Nazis, as it basically means incitement of hatred against a people. But perhaps this was a reasonable decision. Maybe L'amour toujours is the anthem of a terror martyr. Or do you think that potentially the authorities got scared because this woman may have provoked the actual terrorists? What do you think, Nancy Faeser?
So that video was made December 1st.
Oh, wow. So before this even happened.
So Nancy Faeser, the free speech czar, has warned everybody that they are afraid of people being injured at these Christmas markets. Mm-hmm. And then they were. And then she warned about this 19 days ago.
Wow.
The spot on accuracy of that is pretty crazy. But there was another video that went viral of an older lady, and I think I have it up, who was at a German Christmas market, and she was arrested because she was carrying a knife.
Oh, no. And the thing that gets me is like, you know, I would love to visit other countries. Like I want to go to Europe, right? But I always carry a knife with me. And I can't imagine going overseas and not feeling like I have a way to protect myself, you know?
This is where we're at right now. Is this woman was arrested.
Kein Messer gefunden.
Just for carrying a knife.
A pocket knife from elderly women at Christmas markets.
Bis heute wurde kein Messer.
So far, no knife was found today.
Okay, let me turn this down. The police are conducting a bag check. You can go to your colleague. She'll look you over. Let me start with your handbag. You have nothing with you, no knife. Okay, not that I know of. Okay, I might have a knife somewhere. Look at that side, on that side, on the side, where, on the side, there, but I don't know. I always clear it out. Yes, there really is one. Is there anything in it? Yes, a small one. Good. That is the problem. Let me just point out, this is the tiniest little Swiss Army knife.
That would harm nothing. That's not. Do you got a knife on you? You want to see a knife?
No, I don't have it on me right this second. No.
That's the problem. It's got all the little scissors and the little like pot.
He says that's something like that would also be an administrative offense. That's why we must keep this knife.
Shut up! You are an evil, evil man.
Oh my God.
To take away a little old woman's pocket of the Swiss Army of nothingness. Swiss Army knives are good to cut string barely. They are not gonna harm. You're not gonna injure some. You could possibly try to injure. You could maybe injure somebody, but unless you are a trained assassin, unless you're a MacGyver, you're not really injuring somebody with a Swiss Army knife.
No,
you're not. You can't. It literally doesn't go through skin.
Right.
I got knives,
and they're hard to open. Like so, my knife is a switch, not switchblades that you click it, but like I pull it out and instantly it's open, right? And
we all carry
that
knives
would take
here
a minute for
in
her to
the
like.
United States of America. You know what else we can carry? We can carry guns here too.
Mm-hmm.
And for that German police officer to say this is the problem, this would be an offense. The fact that you're in that line of work, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should go and look in the mirror and say, I am ashamed of myself. I am a little gay man.
Leah.
Okay. I am worse than worse. If I am taking a Swiss Army knife from an elderly lady at a Christmas market who, guess what? Let me tell you something.
Here it comes.
No, that's not a knife for protection. That's a utility knife in case you need to cut open a package.
Right.
That's all that knife is going to do. That knife will do you no good whatsoever to protect you in any way. You're better off kicking your perpetrator in the gonads.
Leah.
Then it's true. People need to know this. A Swiss Army knife is
the term. You were upset that I said bull hunky.
I thought that was a proper term.
I don't like that term either.
It's an actual medical term.
I don't like it.
Where the sun don't shine. Okay? You're better off kneeing your attacker where the sun don't shine, ladies, than trying to get out and open up your Swiss Army knife.
Sherry says she would be beat up before she'd even be able to get the blade out. They are so hard to open.
They're literally a butter. Oh, I'm going to take a butter knife. I'm just going to take. You could listen. You're a butter knife is what that thing is.
Oh, I think a butter knife might be more dangerous. Barry says, Michelle, you are required to walk through x-ray machines in Europe and UK airports, and they use sniffer dogs to detect weapons. I think, minus the dogs, we have to do the same thing. I mean, we have to go through metal detectors.
Is not a weapon. I have knives that I know you would consider are weapons.
We got so many weapons.
But it's also a utility knife. Okay, and I can carry them, except for when Matt brought his in to try to go see Donald Trump.
That was fun. He had several in his pocket, I feel like. And then remember the one time when we were given a bunch of knives and we didn't put them in the checked luggage and Mom had them in her purse and we were trying to fly home? That was so funny. James says, so right, Leah, these clowns are a joke. We had a viewer for like 3 years running in the beginning of Resistance Chicks. I miss this man. I don't know who he is. He would send us a package every Christmas,
knives
full of all kinds of knives.
Really,
it was the
knives.
funnest package for me to open.
Ever.
I became obsessed at that point, and then I have a problem.
All right, there are clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right.
Here I
stuck
am,
in the middle with you. All right. So first, I want to tell you about a little drama.
Save your Drammy for your mammy.
I open up Twitter and I see Jack Posobiec and Nancy Mace are going at it. And then I see Mike Cernovich and Dana Loesch are going at it. And then I see people are angry at Chip Roy. Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Oh my. So hang on. Leah just scrolled past the actual car going through the crowd of people. And this is important, even if we don't show it.
Sure, you can tell them.
That was very traumatizing.
And
I don't
high speed.
think how fast, like that car had been doing like 75 miles an hour.
It just
and went through a crowd that looked like maybe 100 people or more, like maybe 200 people, and just plowed right through them. So I think that 11 dead has to be accurate.
No,
I mean, because what I just saw, which I'm hating that I just saw, and that's why we're not playing it for you guys. That was awful. I mean, it was zoom so fast. It was over as soon as it started. I mean, he was through a giant crowd of people in like 1, 2, 3. He was through in that fast. Like, that was really awful.
All right.
Okay, back to the drama.
Okay, so earlier today, it was a looming shutdown, all kinds of craziness. And I don't know why they wait for Christmas time when everybody's supposed to be thinking about Jesus and all that good stuff, and they have to do the stupid budget stuff.
So now we have an update, actually.
It looks like with the support of Democrats, the House just passed Speaker Johnson's latest spending package. Lawmakers voted 366 to 34 to approve the proposal, well above the 2/3 threshold needed under special fast-track procedures. One lawmaker voted present. It now heads to the Senate, while the White House said in a statement that Biden won't stand in the way. Biden supports moving this legislation forward, of course. I don't know if you guys know this, but Republicans hold the House. The one thing that we can control is budgets and spending. Like, that's where we're at. And when you have all Democrats voting with you,
you got a problem.
And you have Biden saying, yeah, I'll sign it. You realize that there is only one party in Washington.
Right.
And the 38 that voted against it are the only people who will represent you and I.
Come on.
Out of how many people are there?
366 signed.
Out of like 400 congressmen, you only have 34
real ones,
real people, and
the rest are bots.
And they are. And when I think of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert being one of the real ones, we have a long way to go.
There's room for improvement.
You know what?
Even with the ones that are quote unquote real.
As the Epoch Times notes, further moments after the House representatives passed a new package to keep the government funded through March 14th, Speaker Johnson and other congressional lawmakers discussed the process that brought the bill over the finish line. In bipartisan fashion.
They always say that like it's such a good thing.
You keep saying that word.
I don't think it means.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
You think it means?
We don't want bipartisan with the far left. You know what? It would be truly bipartisan is if the whole House were run by Republicans and then those Republicans decided on something. Mm-hmm. Because as it is, there is only one party. It doesn't, there's no such thing as bipartisan. And I really hate that man. I hate him with a purple kind of passion. And I hate the double speak. I hate the, hey, we're doing this for the good of the country. Hey, we're doing this for the good of the people. Hey, no, you're doing this because of your lobbyist. You're doing this because this is your paycheck. You're doing it because you don't make enough money to live in two places. And so you have to have padding. You have to make deals. You have to have people funding your lifestyle. And you want to make sure that when you are out of this job, you got a cushy place to land.
Let me read some comments that I was missing over here from Facebook. So Victoria says, hi, everyone. I'm back from Florida for my birthday last week. Happy belated birthday to you. She says, you both look very festive tonight. That's horrible what happened there. I just wanted to report my weather observation in Florida. In my opinion, having lived there before isn't normal. It was nice, but it would alternate between sunny and nice to cloudy and rain and repeat that cycle often several days. December isn't normally rainy season, but it was a short, quick rain. Just noting my weather observation for you, weather manipulation. She says, I truly feel for those that are injured. I agree on the German thing. I relate and associate it with Nazis, unfortunately. She says, wow, no desire to go there. They probably have a problem with mace too. And I have a knife and mace except when flying. But I have an interesting sharp surfboard looking chain that could be used in self-defense. So there you go. I missed all those over there on Facebook.
In bipartisan fashion, with an overwhelming majority of votes, we passed the American Relief Act of 2025. adding that funding the government through March 2025 was a big priority for us.
Who's getting relief? Americans?
Described the package as America First legislation that allows his GOP coalition to deliver the nation. I can't say words.
I can't say words.
Because there's so many lies. And it's just so nauseating what he's saying here.
James says one party is right, the party of crooks. We need to get rid of these crooks with their endless continuing resolutions.
Things are going to be so different. Trump's going to get to D.C. and we're going to have Republican control of the Senate and the House, and everything's going to be so great. I hate when they lie. I really hate liars. I hate them. Tell me the truth. Tell me what you're really thinking. Just for one stinking minute. And that is like kind of like one of the only reasons I like Donald Trump at this point, is at least I know what he's thinking at that moment, even if he's thinking the wrong thing.
That's good.
I just want to know what you're thinking. Stop lying to me. Okay? He's not pro-life anymore. Fine. Thank you for telling me at least. I want to know. I'm tired of the lies. It hurts. It's too hard to navigate. What do they really mean? What are they really doing? It's like where people kept asking me, like, I would know. What do you think of the drones? I don't know. I stinking don't know. I have no stinking idea what the drone thing's all about. Not a lick of an idea that really makes
Michelle
sense.
has a lick. Michelle has a lick. The lick of the idea for Michelle is a fake alien invasion to convince people that there are lives on
that's the only
other
thing
planets.
that makes
Kimberly says
sense.
relieving Americans of their hard-earned money. When I said what's the relief? Who's getting relieved?
Hakeem Jeffrey says House Democrats have successfully funded the government at levels requested by Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not requested anything but bedtime in order to meet the needs of American people in terms of their health, safety, and economic well-being. No, because I can't go to the stinking grocery store, because my property taxes are through the roof, because you can't buy insurance anymore. No, groceries, like, this is doing nothing for the American people. All these bills do is make sure that the lobbyists who have paid you money get paid off. That's all these bills do.
That's good, Leah. Or not just get paid off, but get what they actually want.
Okay, but we've got Buddy Carter in Georgia who's getting relief. Thank God we got disaster relief in Georgia. I'm sure the Democrats, you know what? They don't have a problem with a lot of those little things. But you know what they couldn't? They could not find the money for the wall. $4 billion. We already spent like $100 billion over in Ukraine. We couldn't get no $4 billion for building a wall here. Regarding the debt ceiling consideration, Tom Emmer from Minnesota said that the public would have to wait and see what would be done early in the administration. Donald Trump suggested he was pleased with the outcome of the vote. Representative Rich McCormick told the Epoch Times. Representative Chip Roy of Texas indicated that congressional Republicans still have more work to do despite passing the legislation. We have a lot of undoing of some big stuff in order to get the numbers to work. Let me just explain something to you. Number don't work. You don't get numbers to work like in our budget, because guess what? We're adding $1 trillion. How long is it? Every 6 months now? $1 trillion? You know, Michelle, if you're going to buy your Christmas presents like that, and you're going to be adding, $1 trillion to your credit card every 6 months.
Uh-oh.
And then you try to look me straight in the eye and say, we're trying to make these numbers work. You're adding $1 trillion to the national debt. Like every 6 months, and somebody can fact check me on that. It's a year every 6 months. Still beyond comprehension. And so if you're dealing with a couple $100 billion budget, swatting at a camel, swallowing a gnat, swallowing a camel, swatting at a gnat.
Right.
You want to tell me that you're trying to get the numbers to work. We come back, we hit the ground running. It can't be more of the same. Representative Tom Cole from Oklahoma, one of the bill's leading sponsors, was hopeful about his coalition's path forward. I'd rather be in a situation where I could send bills over to a friendly Senate and have a president of my own party that'll sign them. Oh, yay. It's going to be so great. According to Jake Sherman, there were 3. Thomas Massie, let's hear what he has to say. So Thomas Massie said Speaker Johnson was going to split the spending bill into multiple pieces, but caved to Democrats who wanted an all-in-one bill.
Guys, one more detail. I got. We have a unified Republican conference. There is a unanimous agreement in the room that we need to move forward. I will not telegraph to you the specific details of that yet because I've got a couple of things I got to wrap up in a few moments upstairs, but I expect that we will be proceeding forward. We will not have a government shutdown, and we will meet our obligations for our farmers who need aid, for the disaster victims all over the country, and for making sure that military and essential services and everyone who relies upon the federal government for a paycheck is paid over the holidays. I'll give you the more details here in just a few moments.
I hate that man.
I really, you know what he had to do is he had to go over to the Democrats to make deals to get their votes. That's what he had to do.
You want me to go to Massie?
Let's see. Healthcare has become a financial weapon of mass destruction for our country and our people if we do not fix all fraud, waste, and abuse through reconciliation, which will also help us to fully offset tax cuts. Our Republicans doomed. I hope the House GOP will have some courage.
No courage. They don't have any courage.
Thomas Massie said they needed to call to separate each bill and vote on each one of them, and we were told that that's what they were going to do. But then if Johnson was like, "Hey, we're going to just go on. We're going to just vote on these individually," and so he got the Democrats to move to his side. Mike Lee had said, "Separate the bills, vote on them individually." Revolutionary. Thomas Massie, this isn't complicated. Separate the bills and vote on them individually. One vote on the clean CR, one vote on the debt limit, one vote on disaster relief, one vote on the farm bailouts. Radical, right? Individual bills for each issue. But no, the reason why they put it all in one is because you don't have the votes for the farm bailouts or the disaster relief or the debt limit or all the different things. So you have to combine everybody and they have to make these weird compromises. Elon Musk, the speaker did a good job here given the circumstances.
Oh, dear God.
It went from a bill that weighed pounds to a bill that weighed ounces. Ball should now be in the Dems' court. Third time's a charm. Congress tries again to avoid a shutdown. Mike Johnson is rolling out his third plan to keep the government funding, featuring a funding extension until March, $110 billion for disaster relief and farmers. Gone is Trump's demand to raise the debt ceiling. Now Republicans are bickering, Democrats are side-eyeing, and a shutdown looms at midnight, but we didn't have the shutdown. So no shutdown.
Donald Trump had said if there's going to be a shutdown of government, let it be now under the Biden administration, not after January 20th under Trump. This is a Biden problem to solve, but if Republicans can help solve it, they will. That's what Trump says.
The agreement says that the House Republicans will raise the debt limit by $1.5 trillion in the first reconciliation package, alongside a promise to cut $2.5 trillion in net mandatory spending in the reconciliation promise. That none of that makes sense. None of that makes sense. It does not make sense. None of this makes sense. So we had, Anna Paulina Luna came out with the Speaker's office and said that there will be a vote on something very similar to yesterday. So she said the Republicans are negotiating with the Democrats.
And they did. And they got it. They got it together. They got the votes that they, quote unquote, needed.
Because they just all wanted to go to Christmas.
I think so. I think it's very selfish in the end. That these people don't actually have any morals at all. Kimberly Vinzel says, I heard Chip Roy say every 100 days we add $1 trillion in debt. So that would be like every 3 months. That's a lot.
Yeah. So Chip Roy was against this bill. Donald Trump was for it. People were calling out. I know this is hard to believe, but Republicans were calling out the 34, 38 that were voting against this bill. And they're all the names that you like. They're all the people like us. Well, in the midst of that came this mudslinging. And Chip Roy was one who voted against it. And Donald Trump said, I want to primary Chip Roy. But then there are some crazy things about Chip Roy. Chip Roy supported Liz Cheney, supported George Floyd.
Wow.
Thought Trump should be impeached.
Wow.
Supported Mike Pence on January 6th. Worked for John Cornyn. He actually tweeted out that Ken Paxton should be impeached and removed from AG.
Wow.
I thought that Chip Roy was one of us.
I did too.
Okay. And then he certified the fraud in 2020 and then anti-Trump in 2016, 20, and 24. And so I did not know that. I didn't know all of that. When I kept seeing Mike Cernovich go after Dana Loesch. So then you can bring this up so people can see the drama. This is Christmas drama for you. It's like a bunch of drunk people. So Mike Cernovich says Dana Loesch was, and you're going to find it. I voted to close that one out. Close that one out. It'll help you. To the left, I think. Okay, so bring up I voted for Trump twice. And then scroll up.
Okay.
So Mike Cernovich is mad at Dana Loesch for supporting Chip Roy. Okay? So he calls out Chip Roy. Dana Loesch was a never-Trumper who rebranded. These people don't have a real worldview. And when Trump won, now she's all about Chip Roy. Never-Trumpers are the leopards who cannot change their spots. She says, I voted for Trump twice. Cernovich should go film more gay porn and should shut the blank up. This is all so full of Jesus during Christmas, by the way. Then someone says, and this is why you're the queen. Come on, Dana, take the crown and join the dark side. Embrace who we know you are. Then she says thrice. Actually, she voted for Trump 3 times. Then this John Burke tweets out, when a tranny banger alimony lawyer has thoughts on conservatism, Cernovich, give it 10 minutes and you'll flip that opinion too. It's why no one with half a brain takes you seriously. Dana Loesch would emo blank slap you in a debate. We all know it. So this is what's going on. And it is true that Mike Cernovich wrote a blog post about having gotten drunk and had sexual relations with a man. And he says it in a way that he said, I realized that when I got this person home, who I thought was a female, that it was a man. But I was so needing into a sexual release that I went ahead and did the thing with this man.
When did this come out, this article?
This came out earlier this year. It's a true article, and I never brought it to anybody because it didn't feel like it was newsworthy. But guys, that is why this was in his previous life. He's changed a lot. But that is why. But
some things you don't need to write about.
That is why they are using this as a term and a term of fighting against Mike Cernovich, because he admits to having done this act with a transgender.
Can I just, or transvestite, whatever. Can I just, guys, Lee and I say this a lot. There is something that's so powerful in a testimony from somebody that has come from a life where they've done really bad things. And when they tell that testimony, people get saved and lives are changed.
But Mike has, in a lot of ways, his interview with Tucker, he has said, I used to be this. I used to be a partier. I used to drink.
I know,
used to
that's
do these
fine,
things.
but I just don't, I feel
and he
like
has embraced Christianity a
that
lot.
kind of thing is one of those like details that's too detailed. You know what I'm saying?
He wrote about it before he changed his life.
He wrote about it before he changed his life? And somebody just dug it up and found it? Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's different then. I thought you were saying like he has his life changed.
No, somebody found it and then he came out and said, yes, it's true. This did happen.
Okay. That makes more sense.
But it's still disgusting and weird.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's just a sicko of a person. And I don't think he's truly given his life to Jesus, but he's working on being more Christian. I've seen a lot of his posts. But here's what happened. I will tell you something. Him and Steve Deuce were actually anti-Trump.
Yeah.
And I love this interview, and I played it with Mom in the car. As soon as Trump got shot, something happened, and they flipped. And now anybody who does anything or says anything against Trump, it's like it's like you denying Jesus as Savior. You know what I mean? It's a cult-like mindset where he used to be very rational, and he used to be very measured, and he used to be very, Trump did something else that he didn't like. And he's like, well, that Trump's going to Trump,
So Becky says the Cernovich tranny article was from 2012. I just saw it.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Thank you, Becky, for helping with the research.
So then Cernovich tweets out, and this is the one to the left you want to see. This is the drama going
More
on
drama
to the left. Chip Roy is a January 6th truther who supported Liz Cheney and wanted Trump impeached. He wanted to ban Republicans from attending the session of Congress and tried removing Ken Paxton. So you can bring that up, and then it's kind of good to know. I guess it's good for me to know Chip Roy rejects call to remove Cheney. And then for the good of the people, he says Attorney General Ken Paxton should step down.
Must resign.
And then he said that it was an impeachable conduct by Trump to lobby Pence to use his powers regarding the electors. So that's a lot, okay? And then responding to challenges of Biden's victory, Chip Roy objects to seating his fellow representatives. So he was definitely against us in a lot of ways. And so how do you trust somebody who goes back and forth like that?
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, but then other people are posting things that Mike Cernovich has said against Trump. And then the weird thing going back and forth now, Nancy Mace and Jack Posobiec, this is really crazy. So I want you to bring up Jack Posobiec. You can just...
I'm getting it.
So he was calling out Nancy Mace on some things. And it went really weird. Where Nancy... And then so then people were exposing things about Nancy Mace. Okay? So this is the scroll down. He's speaking, so there's going to be some things going around today. He's talking, so it's going to be far down beyond where we were. Everybody's posting, yay, wonderful things about you.
It's AmFest right now.
I'm fested. He's retweeting everybody, retweeting him. Oh my gosh, you're like a narcissist.
It kind of reminds me of our interview with Dr. Ardis yesterday, which will air on Monday, by the way. And he was, talking about people have been asking him to write a book. Here, I'm gonna stop screen sharing. And for years, for the whole pandemic, and he's like, here was my thought on this. Like, if you were to go to George Washington and like go into his tent in the middle of the Revolutionary War and say, hey, George, why don't you stop what you're doing and go and write a book? Right? Like, no, I can't. I'm fighting a war. And that's how artists felt about writing a book, having been asked so many times. However, I'm looking at Jack and he's retweeting. Maybe he has somebody to retweet for him. In that case, okay, fine. But like if you're at AmFest, be at AmFest. Don't sit there and just start like retweeting everybody like you're on your Twitter like the whole time. It's ridiculous.
That's true. Okay, so there's a lot. So you can just bring this one up. So she's mad at Jack Posobiec, Nancy Mace, for Jack is calling her out. And so then she says two words to Jack Poso, would not. Not sure what his obsession of me is all about. It's weird. We need more strong, intelligent, conservative women who love the Constitution and support Donald Trump. I won't be bullied by Jack nor anyone. So this is bizarre. When she says would not, what she's saying is I would not sleep with him. But Jack is married with kids, okay? Jack Posobiec calls out Nancy Mace for several critical moments where she failed to represent her constituents, and she responds by telling the general public that she would not have sex with Jack Posobiec. Very strange. Very strange. So he says, politicians like this always forget Twitter is searchable and we can just look things up. So Mace flips to yes on the debt ceiling. What a fraud. Nancy Mace in 2021 says, 1 year ago, George Floyd was murdered. He was pinned to the ground until he couldn't breathe for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. His death exposed. So she's a George Floyd truther. Okay. And then she didn't say anything to help Daniel Penny. And then she says, the murder of George Floyd illustrates that racism in our criminal justice system does exist, and it's criminal. So he's calling her out for being this kind of woke Congress lady. Then she says, happy birthday to Mike Pence. We'll never forget welcoming you to the Citadel. And that would be
June of 2021.
That would be after all the things, January 6th. South Carolina's Nancy Mace joins Democrats in vote to hold Steve Bannon in contempt of Congress. And another one is, as long as Zelensky and the Ukrainian people are willing to fight, we are going to supply them with arms until Putin is forced to abandon his invasion. After we failed to prevent the invasion, we can't waver. So she wanted to send money. And then she actually says that Zelensky's like George Washington.
Дуже важливо запевнити, що Путін не має грошей на цю війну. Я хочу нагадати людям, що і в Україні, і в Сполучених Штатах, і по цілому світі, коли Сполучені Штати історично, коли вони боролися проти колоніальної армії, то саме французи в Європі надали американцям порох, мушкети, форму для боротьби, для того, щоб перемогти в революційній війні. Мені здається, що президент, я думаю про президента.
So he's been dragging her today. And so then that's the other fight that's been happening today. Mm-hmm. And then so she's tweeting him back. It's all just really weird. And then even Tanya Tay, his wife, came back and was like, why would he want to rent a Honda Civic when he has a Ferrari at home?
See, this, I'm trying to tell you guys something.
Yeah.
There's no Founder's Bible down here, is there?
No.
So I'm reading in my Founder's Bible today, and forgive me for forgetting who it was. I want to say it was Benjamin Rush. I'm not quite sure. There's a quote in there essentially saying that, I'm totally paraphrasing here, but when we forget that the code of America is like our morals come from God, mm-hmm. we cannot expect heaven to smile upon us.
No.
And so, guys, this is what Leah and I were trying to say leading into election 2024. And I know a lot of you left the Resistance Chicks channel because of this stance. And okay, but let me explain to you, if you've come back, you're like, maybe it's okay to tiptoe back in. Maybe no, maybe it's not. I don't know. But what we were trying to say the whole time is you cannot expect heaven to smile upon a people, whether you like it or not. Jack Posobiec is one of the big name people that is helping to make American policy, because he is embedded into the Trump campaign / incoming administration. He has his hand and finger on the pulse of the president. And so many people like him, and Mike Cernovich and all of these people. And their moral code, like you've got Dana Loesch, who's again a huge name in our quote unquote movement, using the F-bomb. And then you've got Nancy Mace herself. And she's supposedly, mega and Trump and all this, that, and the other. And her response to a Jack Posobiec calling her out is, I've never even heard this phrase, would not. Like, apparently everybody's supposed to know what that means. You have to be at a level of perversion to be in with people and know what that means. Like, I don't know. Until today, I didn't know that would mean I would not sleep with you. Because why would you even think that? Why would you say that? And then for Jack Posobiec's wife to dignify the statement with a public response from another sexual, like, the answer isn't, why would he drive a Honda Civic when he has a Ferrari? The answer is, lady, you're sick in the head. My husband is a righteous man of God, and he would never dishonor his wife. That's the response, not the Honda Civic Ferrari thing. And so, guys, I know everybody feels so good. Yesterday we went in and we bought our dryer, and the people, the guys there are so amazing. They came up and they're like, oh yeah, it's Lee Michelle Wright. We watched your show after you gave us your card and yada, yada. And so cool. I think Walter and Tim are their names. Hi, Walter and Tim, if you ever watch our show. However, they came and they're both like, great win in November. And I'm like, yes, because I'm excited for the American people, right? And I totally am. But at the same time, we got there by immoral means. We got there by compromising with the devil. And so if you wish for the hand of heaven to bless a nation and not for God to bring judgment on a nation, you get there through righteous means. Again, reading in my Founder's Bible today. You remember when David took the census and God was not happy? Like, God was not happy. So David takes a census of his soldiers. He wants to know, like, how big and bad his army is. So he takes a census. God's so furious, he gives him 3 options for his punishment. And then David says, I'd rather fall into the hand of God, let God come. And God ends up, like, sending the angel death, 70,000 people, and then God relents and says, okay, it's enough. But what's the point there? David took the census because he wanted to be able to say, look what I have done. I want to know how many men I have. Now, Gideon, complete opposite. Gideon would take a census to prove that there weren't that many people and God gets all the glory. David was taking a census to see how many dudes he had to say, look at what I have done. So when you go back to November, no one's going, look what the Lord has done. They're going, we did this. You'd see a Jack Posobiec. You see all of these people out there. No one is saying, wow, it was a miracle. It was, wow, we did this. We did this because we compromised on abortion. We did this because we compromised on LGBTQ agenda issues. They compromised in every single area, and they made concessions and they made deals with all the wrong people, like a Nancy Mace. And history proves that God can't bless that. And so now that we're looking at the big drama that is unfolding around us with everybody, they were so unified before 2020. No one was allowed to say anything at all whatsoever against anybody that was supporting Donald Trump. And then they're like, well, as soon as Trump actually wins, now we can come and the mudslinging can begin. We can throw everybody under the bus and we don't have to be unified. Which means you were lying, and that makes you a deceiver leading up to 2020.
So in 2023, she tweeted out, the federal government spent $1.1 million in 2022 on training mice to binge drink alcohol. Now, you can look away. And if you have kids in your room, just look away.
Maybe
But
I want to look away.
You can, if you so choose, to look away. This is Nancy Mace in 2016. Footage of her at a drinking...
We're not screen sharing.
Doing a drinking game.
Was she an elected official at the time?
She was I think she ran and won, and I don't know if she won in 2018 maybe. This is Nancy Mace. So she drinks and she puts the drink in this lesbian woman who then has a Trump shirt, who then puts it in a guy, who then puts it in another person, who then puts it in another person, who then puts it in another person, and then finally somebody throws up. That is Nancy Mace. She is the same one who laughed at a prayer breakfast saying that her fiance wanted to do relations things with her at 7 in the morning, but she said, no, honey, I can't. I need to go to a prayer breakfast. And she thought that was going to be a funny opening line.
At the prayer breakfast.
At the prayer breakfast.
Her boyfriend, not her husband.
Now, she has since lost a gazillion pounds. Everybody thought it was Ozempic. No. She has said that she's under mental stress, PTSD, because of domestic violence, and she's left and she has to live in some sort of secret place with her kids, and she's just
from the same guy that she referenced at the prayer breakfast?
No, but the prayer breakfast, I don't know. I have no idea. Whatever she is, and then she's loving being super thin, even though she looks like kind of the Tales from the Crypt. But there's just something twisted and sick about her right now, because she's saying that she's under PTSD and she doesn't have good mental health, and yet she's like trying to help run a country, and like she's sick in the head. She needs to resign.
Yeah.
But she drops mic drops, and that's why people like her. These are the people serving us right now. Now, in other news, are we screen sharing?
Not yet.
Other side news. These are the people you guys, you kind of do need to know. Where is it? I guess it's this one. We have just given $1 billion towards the Ecuadorian Amazon.
Earlier this week, as you all saw, the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation announced a $1 billion financial initiative to support conservation of the Ecuadorian Amazon.
I'm glad that
this
you're
is a
telling
result
us
of the
this,
president's
yes.
recent trip to the Amazon and a continuation of the administration's effort to support innovative ways to address climate change through sustainable growth and development without burdening countries facing financial constraints. Earlier this
$1 billion. Just a random billion to Ecuador. Just a random billion.
And I'm guaranteeing you it doesn't have anything to do with the Amazon.
No, exactly. All right. Peter St. Ange for the win here. Why do they tax when they can just print it?
Why do they tax when they can just print it all? Ask MMT inflationists and they'll say we tax to punish the bad people who have too much money. Ask most economics professors who lean left and they'll say taxes lower inflation since they drain private spending so it doesn't compete with the government. But the real reason why you shouldn't print is that inflation destroys even more than taxes. So the past 5 years showed us the catastrophe of unbridled money printing, but even in normal times, the Fed prints up an awful lot of money. In the 5 years before 2019, the Fed printed up directly and indirectly about $800 billion per year. That's annual change in M2. But a quarter of that is direct. The Fed buys federal debt, lending money to Treasury. The other 3/4, about $600 billion, is created by commercial banks who magic up the money every time you borrow it. Now, studies have shown that $1 in inflation destroys about $1 in GDP via reduced incentives to build and work. This does beat taxes, which destroy about $2 to $3 per dollar collected. But spot the problem. Printing $800 billion only raised $200 for Treasury. The rest was gobbled up by Wall Street loans. That means to get the same amount from inflation, you'd have to destroy 4 times as much. Not $1 with inflation, but $4. Of course, it doesn't have to be this way. You could cut off Wall Street by raising reserve ratios, putting limits on bailouts, or ending fractional reserve. Alas, you go to war with the system you have, meaning that 4-to-1 ratio is here to stay. Still, for fun, what if we did it differently? What if Treasury just printed all $800 billion? After all, that would replace fully a third of income taxes, toss in Trump's tariffs, and you are close to abolishing the income tax. In that case, in terms of GDP, you would be better off than taxing. Thing is, GDP is only half the story. The other half is wealth. Because inflation doesn't just sap incentives, it destroys your dollars, pours water into the wine of your life savings. To illustrate, Americans own about $31 trillion in bank deposits and bonds. A bond is essentially a dollar with an interest rate, along with $3 trillion in pensions that are not adjusted for inflation. Set that against $13 trillion in mortgages where you actually make money with inflation, your mortgage melts away, and it nets out to $21 trillion in dollar exposure for Americans, meaning a 1% rise in inflation effectively destroys 1% of that, about $200 billion in wealth. So add that to the $1 GDP hit, and you're costing about $2 in output and wealth for every dollar printed. Multiply that by 4 for Wall Street cut, and you are at $8 compared to 2 to 3 for taxes. So yes, you can replace taxes with printing, but you'll destroy even more, and so long as Wall Street's getting its 3/4 share, you will destroy a lot more. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Whether the government taxes or inflates, the common thread is that it destroys much more than it takes. Toss in the stupid crap it blows the money on. I mentioned in a previous video how $1 in bureaucrat salary destroys $158 in production.
Wow.
And it can really add up. Now, if the federal government is going to print money, the proceeds should go to the people. But ideally, it prints nothing, backs the dollars with real assets, and taxes as close to nothing as possible. Read the rest.
Love Peter.
So I want to remind you guys, especially at Christmas time, okay? A lot of you are going to be struggling just to get Christmas presents to your family. I get that. But there are those of you out there that are not. And I can't think of, and I mean this genuinely, a greater thing to do for yourself and your family for Christmas than to pull out of the dollar bills that you have extra and get into God's money, real money. This is the Australian koala here that I have in my hand. I'm telling you, there is nothing more important to fix what is wrong all around than getting back to God's money, sound money. But if that's not enough, like let's say just the moral reason alone is not enough for you, holding on to paper dollars right now is literally like trying to hold water in your hand. It's not even like holding sand in your hand is easier than like literally you're trying to grasp a hold of this water in your hand and it is just rushing out. Whereas when you can hold on to this in your hand, you can hold it. And we give this all the time on the show, but just to remind you, in the 70s, the average wage was $10,000. If you had been being paid at that time in ounces of gold, Leah, how many ounces would you have been being paid?
Oh, gosh. I have to break it down. I mean,
okay, it translates to the fact that if you were being paid the same amount of ounces that equaled $10,000 in the 70s, and you were paid that for your average salary, which is what right now, like $62,000 or something, you would be getting like roughly $700,000 a year. So what that translates to is in the 70s, if you had taken that $10,000 of gold,
300 ounces of gold, and what's gold today?
2,600.
Okay, so if you did that times, you'd have
$787,000. It just keeps rising. Okay, so then you can also say that if you had $10,000 worth of gold in the 70s, you would now have $787,000 of gold. Now, that some of you may say,
but here's the thing: you need to understand that was $10,000 worth of gold is now worth $700,000.
That's what I'm getting to.
$87,000.
Some of you may say, "Wow, Michelle, that's amazing! Like that's awesome, right? So we can count gold as an investment." No, we don't want gold to be worth more in the future. Because that means that what Peter St. Onge, who we've had on our show, by the way, and you can watch him on the Outliers, go to resistancechicks.com and put in the word Peter, and you can watch our interview with him. The dollar, this is the proof that the dollar is being devalued every second of every day. And if you are putting it in your mattress and you've got it in a safe at home or you've got it in a bank account, every single day, it's getting worth less and less and less. And so why do we call it gold wealth preservation?
Yeah.
Because it withstands inflation, which we are trying to stop and we are trying to shut it down and we're trying to get rid of it. But if so many people are like, Michelle, if we're being realistic, we're never going to be able to go back to gold and silver. Okay. But if you're hanging on to your paper dollars, you're also not being realistic because realistically, in the 70s, having $10,000 worth of gold would make it so that you had $787,000 in gold right now. So you're not being realistic. Okay, fine. Deny me the fact that we can get back to sound money. All right. Well, then if you actually disagree with me that we can get back to sound money, then you actually should be getting into gold and silver because you would then be able to see that we're never going back to sound money. So you have to get into sound money to preserve the unsound money called inflation.
That's true.
So go to resistancechicks.com/God's money and give Zhang Enterprises a call and schedule your free consultation call with them. I'm telling you, that should be the Christmas present that you do for you and your family. To say, you know what, to your kids, to your future generations, this is what I'm going to do. I'm choosing to preserve what we have as a family instead of allowing it every single day to go down the drains. resistancechicks.com/God's money. John Stossel.
So he is going to talk about how government shutdowns don't really. You're going to bring it up for me?
Yep. It's
they don't mean anything. However, what I love about this video here is he talks about how private people do things better than the government.
Longer than any in history. I'm told this is a crisis.
Government shutdown crisis.
Another Trump-generated crisis.
This crisis. It's causing chaos, confusion, pain. It's just too much. Say the Washington Post and New York Times. But wait a second. Looking around America. I have to ask, where's that crisis? Most everything seems pretty normal.
How's everything today?
Life goes on. Pundits speak as if government's the most. This is the most unlibertarian experiment. But there are lessons to be learned. Under President Obama's shutdown, government officials wouldn't allow people to enter public parks.
The National Park Service is blocking access to parks and monuments.
This shutdown, the administration's allowing people in parks. So PBS finds a new crisis: too much garbage.
National Park Services can't clean up the mess until Congress and the president reach a spending deal.
But now
Leah says she made this clear. I didn't hear it, and if I didn't hear it, I apologize. That means some of you might not have heard it either. This is from
when the government actually shut down.
When the government actually shut down in 2019. So when he says, I don't see anything really bad going on, that was under a Trump administration where everyone was happy and they could buy groceries and everything was fine.
Volunteers sometimes pick up the trash. Private citizens will step in to do some things government workers used to do. The Washington Post finds another problem. Farmers aren't receiving government support checks. But why do farmers even get support checks? The purpose of the subsidy was to protect the food supply. But most fruit and vegetable farmers don't get subsidies, and they do fine. There's no shortage of tangerines, pears, or broccoli. Grain, cotton, and corn farmers could suck it up and do fine too. Much of government we could just get rid of. The New York Times says shutdown curtails FDA food inspection. Oh no, we'll be poisoned. But if you read the smaller print, you'd learn that 80% of food inspection is done by the Agriculture Department, and they're still inspecting. But more important, the main reason food is safe is not government, it's competition. Fear of getting a bad reputation inspires most food producers to employ more safety inspectors than government requires. Beef carcasses undergo hot steam rinses and microbiological testing that go well beyond what government demands. Yet politicians want us to think it's all about government. Where government work is needed, privatize much of it. Even security work, like what the TSA does, is done better by the private sector. Go to San Francisco's airport, you'll notice the lines are shorter and they move more quickly. And passengers say the screeners are nicer.
People here are friendly and willing to help.
Not only are they nicer, the TSA acknowledged that they were better at finding contraband. That's because they're private contractors. They have to be better or they might get fired. Government never fires itself.
We shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute, and you want to shut it down. You keep talking about it.
The last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
Finally, it's absurd that this shutdown is supposedly about appropriating $5.7 billion for part of a border wall. That's less than what Washington spends every day.
$54 billion increase in the defense budget.
Well, the Senate has passed the Farm Bill, a multi-billion-dollar legislative package.
Our debt will soon reach $22 trillion.
More than that now. We're
Government squanders money on useless things.
They spent $300,000 studying whether Japanese quail are more sexually promiscuous on cocaine.
So when government workers protest and say, we are all essential.
We all are essential.
Okay. This particular article stuck out to me as well. This chart here ranks the companies that receive the most U.S. taxpayer money in period. So Boeing, their entire fleet, I guess here, $15.5 billion. Intel will receive a further $7.98 from CHIPS Act, so they get $15 billion. Ford, $7.7 billion.
So shouldn't we get discounts at these places because we're paying them?
So these are all
like
the
we
numbers.
Should get a discount. Like all Americans should get discounted Fords, GMs, Amazon products.
This is all since 2000, so in the past 24 years. Ford, $7 billion, GM, $7 billion, Micron, $7 billion. Amazon, what is Amazon getting $6 billion from the government for?
So they're color-coded. The blue is tech and media, the pink is industrial, the green is automotive, and the yellow is energy.
And when I talk about Tesla and Elon Musk has received
Why is Walt Disney getting money?
Nearly $3 billion. Why is Tesla getting $3 billion? You can scroll down and you can see those numbers. In 2020, Boeing asked Washington state to repeal one specific tax break worth nearly $100 million a year to avoid paying tariffs when selling planes to European airlines. Why would it have to pay tariffs? This involves a bit of a backstory for a Boeing Airbus tiff that's been ongoing for the last decade and a half, backed by respective governments. In 2004, the U.S. complained against Airbus receiving illegal government launch aid, which helped Airbus take away market share from Boeing. A year after that, the EU complained against Boeing's tax subsidies, specifically naming Everett support to the Boeing facility. In 2020, the World Trade Organization ruled on both cases, handing out tariffs to each manufacturer's exports to the other market. Mindful of that, the WTO ruling, Boeing asked Washington State's tax break to be repealed, and in 2021 moved production of its 787 Dreamliner to South Carolina. Nevertheless, the plane manufacturer reported receiving $66 million in tax incentives in 2022. So you and I have to pay for all of this. All of it.
And here's the thing that I want you to understand something when Leah says that statement. It's not the same statement that people said in the 80s and the 90s and they actually believed it. Like my mom's best friend, Janet, still to this day, like every time something believes that when someone's on welfare, that she's paying for that, that her tax dollars are paying for that. And I'm like, no, that's like saying I have $1 trillion in debt, but the $1,000 a month that gets deposited into my bank account is paying for my life's expenses. That's ridiculous. You're charging it all. We're in debt. So yes, you're right. We're paying for it. But how are we paying for it? We're paying for it through the inflation, which is the silent tax, right? When they print more dollars and put us in more debt, then everything around us costs more money. And that's how we're paying for it. The problem is, if it were only true that our tax dollars paid for all of the things that they're wasting our money on. I wish that was true. I really and truly wished I could say my tax dollars were funding, the study of the quail, being more promiscuous on cocaine. I wish I could say that, because that would mean that we weren't trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt.
So come over here. This is another reason why the government waste is so crazy. Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, Marshmello. I haven't heard of him.
Nice. I bet he's a squishy dude.
He's probably had a song called S'mores. Among celebs accused of fraudulent use of COVID funds for parties and private jets. So rappers Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, Marshmello, and several other artists are being accused of misusing government-provided COVID relief funding to pay for lavish parties and fill their own pockets. The musicians are accused of filing for and misusing the Shuttered Venue Operations Grant money, which was supposed to help arts groups weather the COVID shutdown. The SVO grant was signed into law by Donald Trump in 2020 and offered up to $10 million for arts organizations, studios, theaters, and similar outlets to spend on ordinary and necessary expenses to remain viable during the shutdown. To be eligible, filers had to show that the pandemic cost them at least 25% of the revenue over previous quarters. Other artists who filed for the funding include Alice in Chains, Shinedown, Ray Strimard, and some others. Rapper Lil Wayne reportedly received $8.9 million, but spent the relief funds on personal expenses, including $1.3 million on private jets, $460,000 on clothing. How is that possible? $2.1 million to pay off a debt. And then when he called them, he said something crude. And then he reportedly apologized. Chris Brown reportedly took $10 million, but assumed $5.1 million for a personal payment. Then spent $800,000 on a birthday party. And rapper Marshmello was given $9.9 million. And he put the whole amount into his own pocket. Some of the others, a Key used $2.9 million for payroll for employees, which was what the money was for, but paid himself $1.9 million. The three members of the band Shinedown each took $2.5 million of the grant for their own pockets, but also paid $650,000 to employees. Finally, most of the $7.7 million given to Ray Strimard went to the artists instead of the company's expenses.
So I actually want to...
I am mad about this because our industry shut down. We did all kind of cray-cray things to make money during 2020. And all 5 of our cars broke down. And you guys actually helped us a little bit to purchase our minivan, and we did mulch for people. We did
a lot of landscaping.
We literally had no. I think I was for over 6 months because people didn't travel, and
I'm going to get back
not
into landscaping.
Apply for any.
I'm going to get back into landscaping because I was in the best shape of my life in 2020 because of that.
It was hard work.
It was very, very hard work, but I was exhausted. So I disagree. I think that...
You disagree with what?
These expenses from these rappers are legitimate.
Needful and necessary.
Because, again, we're talking about Daystar, and we're talking about the fact that they believe their own con.
They do. They believe that
These
they needed it.
rappers.
I would normally have had a $1 million birthday party.
I would have had that birthday party. I would have bought $460,000 worth of clothes, which I need to maintain Lil Wayne's status. Okay, Lil Wayne probably had to get a couple new tattoos, so those were probably paid for too. The $1.3 million in private jets for Lil Wayne, he had to fly around because that's what he would have done. So they, in their minds, they believe that they were taking this money in good faith to maintain who they are, because I am this thing and I have to do these things to maintain who I am. They believe their con. I truly believe that these people are like, of course, this is who I am. Like, I need this because this is how, if I stop this, I could lose who I am forever.
If you miscalculate your mileage that you ride off for on your little Honda Civic, they will come for you.
They're coming for you.
But if you pocket $9.9 million for yourself out of COVID relief funds, they will applaud you. They're not doing anything. What these people are not afraid of anything. They're not afraid of being investigated.
Nope.
I thought this was funny though. Speaking of taxes, there was a tax preparer named the Magician. He pled guilty to defrauding the IRS of $145 million. Now, in retrospect, I feel like he should get off. I feel like he should get off because what he did for his clients was he pretended like they had medical expenses, pretended like they had business expenses, and he was known as the Magician. The people that he was preparing these taxes for have pleaded that they had no idea.
Oh, sure.
That's what was happening. They just felt like, they didn't know as many taxes or whatever. They were getting big tax returns. Now, let me explain something to you.
Here it comes.
I don't believe that a tax preparer does these things out of the abundance of their heart. Like, you know what? I'm going to take the hit for this, and I'm just going to randomly, for all of my clients, write off extra things.
You think they getting a little something on the side?
I think he set it up that they wouldn't be seen. But a guy in Somerville, Massachusetts, was convicted of preparing false tax returns between 2012 and 2020. Yves Isidore, the Magician. The defendant prepared and filed over 1,200 tax returns for clients. He added false tax claims like non-existent medical and dental expenses and charity gifts. The clients received refunds to which they were not entitled. During the trial, 6 taxpayers testified they had no idea.
Oh, sure.
When someone hires an individual to complete your tax returns, they have a right to expect honesty.
Stop it.
Earlier in October, another tax preparer was sentenced to 24 months in prison for filing false income tax returns. The defendant filed 83 federal returns over roughly three-year period that contained fake items like business expenses, tips, and salaries. Most of the clients neither owned a business nor discussed any business expenses with the preparer. In April of last year, the IRS warned against unscrupulous tax preparers who seek to tempt taxpayers into fraud through various schemes while charging high fees. Now, what's hilarious to me is that I don't hear of any taxpayers being caught up in this, but I don't believe tax preparers are just out of the goodness of their heart writing things off for you.
What's interesting, though, is if you're right, and I would tend to agree with you, what would be making this Eves guy not just blurt it all out and just say, yeah, but they paid me.
Honor code.
No.
Honor code. I was your tax preparer.
I disagree.
But no,
honor
because
code.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they pay. It makes him even worse on his case that he charged them to do this.
That they gave money on side. Give him.
I don't think it makes it any better for him to take people down with him.
Okay, but say you're the prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go to him and you're going to offer him a deal. I guarantee you he was offered a deal. If these people paid you and you tell us, you can get a reduced sentence. I can guarantee you. So
no,
he clearly didn't
because
take a deal.
I believe. No, I think it just makes him look worse because he's got to be the one.
Doesn't matter
who
how
came
he
up with
looks.
No. What I mean, like it would be worse for him. Like
if they give him a
worse for
deal,
him.
no. If they give him a deal,
I don't think they would give him a deal. I honestly
1,200 tax returns. You don't think they would give him a deal? One guy to get 1,200 people?
No, you're not. You're missing the point. I'm thinking that if he says that he actually took money in return for this and he was making these deals, it makes it even worse for him.
I think that they could give him a deal that it didn't. They can give anybody a deal. They can give murderers a deal. They could have given him a deal. They probably
he'd
did.
Have to prove that in the emails or text messages.
Maybe there was no proof. I don't know. I'm just saying. I want to know why he didn't throw him under the bus. That's what I want to know.
Take him down with him. I don't think it would. I don't think attack. I don't.
All right. BlackRock's new Bitcoin ad is a monumental paradigm shift. What are they going to try to
window
brainwash
has
us?
Officially shifted. So there was a guy who went on Tucker Carlson and said Bitcoin has been taken over.
Yep.
And he kind of still likes a little bit of the blockchain, but it's been taken over by the CIA for CBDCs. And now you see that BlackRock has released a new video aimed at educating people interested in Bitcoin on an asset class. The video is quite good, honestly. I took a look, blah, blah, blah. So when you seeing this type of educational Bitcoin content from a 11.5 trillion asset manager is something that I think will really resonate with their target audience.
Can we just play it?
Bitcoin, I guess.
Bitcoin bit by bit. Oh, let's turn it up.
What exactly is Bitcoin? Let's start at the beginning, around 100,000 years ago. Throughout history, we've used all kinds of objects to help make transactions and store value. From seashells, to shiny metals, to paper notes. That's because the value isn't just in the object itself, it's in how much we agree the object represents. So the object can be many things, even, as it turns out, a string of digital code.
Bitcoin, a string of digital code.
The internet changed everything. It connected the world, changing how we communicate, work, shop, and manage finances. It also opened the door to a new kind of currency and asset. Enter Bitcoin, a digital currency not governed by banks or governments, but by its global community of users. And that provided new potential benefits.
One, global.
Bitcoin exchanges happen person to person, anywhere in the world, in near real time and for near zero transaction costs, saving money, time, and opening financial opportunity to those without access to a banking system.
2, fixed supply.
Bitcoin has a fixed...
You're going to tell me that Bitcoin, which is only accessed through your computer and your cell phone, opens up a world of banking to people who don't have access to a banking system?
Supply of 21 million Bitcoins. This hard-coded rule controls supply, purchasing power, and helps avoid the potential misuse of printing more and more currency, which can contribute towards inflation.
3, transparent.
All transactions take place on a digital ledger called the blockchain. It's a digital platform to move value where everyone can see every transaction.
Bitcoin today.
Bitcoin is no longer seen as the radical idea it was 15 years ago. Over 500 million people around the world now use cryptocurrency, with over 50% holding or investing in Bitcoin, making it the most popular cryptocurrency by far. Some use Bitcoin to transfer value across borders and for purchases. Some see Bitcoin as an investment, given its limited supply and uniqueness relative to other financial assets. And for those in certain countries, its value goes far deeper, potentially offering greater financial autonomy by serving as an alternative to local currencies.
Bitcoin in the future. Reminder, this
Bitcoin
is a BlackRock
is an
ad.
emerging global monetary alternative. Time will tell how far adoption will go. But next time you see a seashell or shiny metal, think about how humans' idea of money has evolved throughout history.
Stop it. Okay.
So remember just how we keep talking about CBDCs and central bank digital currency and central bank digital currency. Guys, BlackRock's in on it.
Yeah.
BlackRock is in on this.
It's
not just real. It is made up. Oh, guess what? It feels like the worst cult, the worst kind of religion. It feels a little bit Mormonism, where it's like the powers that be, decided that there would only ever be 21 million of them, and then they hid them throughout all of the
ancient gods of WWW. Can I just call them out on some major
oh my goodness
lie here? When they say, whenever the next time you see a seashell or shiny metal, I want you to think about how money has evolved over the years. Excuse me. Since the beginning of recorded history, money has almost always, you want to talk about percentage, you got 50% of people using Bitcoin that are using cryptocurrencies, been gold and silver. So do not dare put shiny metal in the same category as seashells, you giant nincompoops. Because they're not in the same category. The only money that is money, that will ever, always, and truly be money, will be gold and silver. Okay? Don't put them in a category as your daggum seashells. I'm telling you, this is the art of the con. You just witnessed it. So Leah and I are not behind cryptocurrencies. Every time I see crypto, I think of like being in jail. See gold and silver, I see freedom. ResistanceChicks.com/God's money. Give Lynette Zhang a call. I'm telling you guys.
It is, I know Bitcoin. It's hard because I know
gosh.
that, like, I know a lady who just bought, like, her son's getting her into it. She has $100 of it. She has to keep herself from looking at the value going up and down all day. It's this weird addiction.
It's gambling. Kimberly Venzel says, how does imaginary money have a limited supply? It is not real any more than my website is real.
You know what it is? It's money porn.
It's money porn. It's an addiction.
It's money porn.
It's a dopamine hit.
It's a dopamine hit. It's money porn. And then the guy who helped push it forward, he was on Tucker and he said, it wasn't supposed to be an investment. It was supposed to be a medium of exchange. And now that's not where it's at. BlackRock sees it as an investment. It's supposed to be a medium of exchange. This girl created, this Hawk Tuit girl, created a meme coin, which is worth nothing. It's just like stamp collection, right? But digitally. Pumped and dumped it, walked away $50 million. People lost that money.
Wow.
That money came from somewhere. The whole Doge coin, it's called a meme coin. It's a stamp collection.
Wow.
It's not real. We live in the, guys, it's not real. It's not real. It's legitimately not real. Well, what am I going to do when the world shuts down? How am I going to use my gold and my silver? Well, because gold and silver is a monetary exchange. And if you see it, a dollar is a dollar is a dollar. Even the Australian koala, it's ounces in weight in ounces. Okay, you know what gold is worth, and it's God's money. And I will just end with this because I know we hammer this a lot. God hates unjust weights and balances. He hates when money goes up and down. Your money itself is not an investment.
Come on and preach.
Money is not supposed to go up. It's not supposed to go down. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's not an investment. It's not supposed to go up and down. Now, because of inflation, gold is your wealth preservation and silver is your barterability.
Because
get around the stupid taxes.
Exactly.
Get around the taxes. If you have some friends or family who will do work for you and you can pay them gold and silver, and then when they're putting that on their taxes, and they just put the value of what you paid them on their taxes.
$1.
And then you do what you got to do.
I love it.
With that.
All right. I don't like the rest of this article anyway, so we can move on to your next story.
All right. So I don't even want to talk about him. I'm just going to go this real quick.
What is
Nick Fuentes was supposedly swatted. Some guy who went on a killing spree shows up at his front door, and everybody is like coming to his defense. You shouldn't be swatted. You shouldn't have your life threatened. Well, Nick Fuentes, I don't know if you guys know who he is. They call his followers gropers. He is a closeted, disgusting homosexual. I cannot stand this person. His followers will swarm your account if you say anything against Nick. They will dox you. They will SWAT you, which is send police to your house. Mm-hmm. And they will attack you. I know not to say anything about Nick Fuentes on Twitter because his little groper people are like the Andrew Tate people, and they will make your life a living hell. They will do it. There are videos of him saying, "Take this pledge. I will rape and kill and support and be and anything and do anything Nick Fuentes tell me to do." Now, some people are saying that he's mocking it, that it's a joke. He has a cult. He has a cult following. Nobody should ever listen to him. He's this crazy.
And he's inserted himself into MAGA.
Yes,
he had dinner with Trump.
I believe that he is whether he's paid by the CIA or paid by the FBI, because of his craziness, because how far he goes on hating black people and Jews and all these crazy things, and he even hates homosexuals, even though he is one. And he says things like he hates women because he's a homosexual. And because of all of how far he goes, I think he's got a green light from somebody to pull in the disenfranchised white American boy, boy.
That's true.
And to make them be anti-Semite. And honestly, it's a trap. Supporting Nick Fuentes is a trap. The same thing now.
So there was an assassination attempt on his life, and now everybody's all like behind him.
Yeah. Short story here. Oklahoma teacher, daughter of mayor, wife of police chief, sentenced for grooming a teen student.
Stop it.
Lots of these chicks. 28-year-old former substitute teacher in Wellston, Oklahoma, will serve 4 years in prison after being sentenced for 2 counts of soliciting sex with a minor through the use of technology. Oh. She is the daughter of the mayor, wife of the police chief, and still claims her innocence and argues that the victim is lying. The arrest affidavit obtained by KOKH revealed that Hancock began talking to the then 15-year-old boy in October of 2022 after getting his number under the guise of helping him with classwork. Later that night, the substitute teacher sent the boy a friend request on Snapchat, leading to several weeks of communication and blah, blah, blah. And that's just another line of these
but
teachers.
How can she claim that he's lying if the kid has proof of text messages and
I don't
stuff?
know. I'm not going to get into it. I just thrown it out there. Silicon Valley tech giants flock to Trump, pledging support and millions in donations.
That should scare you.
So he's got Mar-a-Lago visits with $1 million checks. New York Times reports the past few weeks have seen a flurry of activity from Silicon Valley billionaires and their companies as they flash hefty donations for Donald Trump's inauguration. Where does that go to, by the way?
I know.
And he preys on the president-elect. Tech giants Mark Zuckerberg's Meta, Amazon, OpenAI's Sam Altman have all pledged to support Trump's inaugural committee with 7-figure contributions.
What?
Often accompanied by personal visits to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump. Among the procession of tech leaders who made the pilgrimage to hobnob with Trump are Google CEO Sundar Pichai and founder Sergey Brin, who dined with the president last week. Apple CEO Tim Cook shared a meal with Trump last Friday. Amazon Jeff Bezos is going to meet with him as well. This surge of tech industry engagement marks a stark acknowledgement of the reality of doing business in Trump's Washington. While it's common for businesses to seek favor with an incoming administration, the fervor of tech activity stands out. The industry, infamously left-wing, is now publicly breaking bread with Trump, with Meta and Amazon, whose founders had previously been criticized by the president-elect, each pledging $1 million. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post and has the most anti-Trump vitriol on the face of the planet, where people were trying to The writers were trying to somehow oust or wrangle the Washington Post out of Jeff Bezos' hand because he's trying to take it in a more neutral and fair and balanced place, the Washington Post. OpenAI chief executive Sam Altman, a prominent Democrat donor during Trump's first term, announced a personal $1 million donation on Friday, stating, President Trump will lead our country into the age of AI, and I am eager to support his efforts to ensure America stays ahead in AI. The turnabout is particularly striking, given the extreme leftist politics of some executives now meeting with and praising Trump. Salesforce CEO and hyper-leftist Mark Benioff, who owns Time magazine, posted on X celebrating a time of great promise for our nation after Time named Trump its Person of the Year, after they had previously called him Adolf Stinking Hitler. Trump's early tech supporters are also expressing their enthusiasm for the incoming administration. Venture capitalist Mark Andreessen, who endorsed Trump during the campaign, revealed he had spent about half his time since Election Day working on the presidential transition, framing Trump's win as a cultural moment for a techno-optimist. Anderson has joined executives like Zynga founder Mark Pincus and former Meta executive David Marcus at Mar-a-Lago to help staff the new administration and work on reducing regulations in industries such as AI and cryptocurrencies.
Ain't I been saying it, Ernie? Trump is trying to and wants to take us into a technocracy.
I don't think he wanted to. I don't think he was trying to. I think that he loves being praised. And if you and I had billions and billions of dollars and there was a strong movement of Christians who were super pro-life, who were plunking down millions and millions of dollars, and he would listen to you. And he did when we were the ones backing and supporting him. But our checkbooks are empty. I have pledged so much, my life, my fortune, for supporting this man. I've lost my YouTube. I've lost my Twitter. I've lost a heck of a lot of money supporting Donald Trump. But he doesn't like losers. And he certainly doesn't like people who have integrity when they make money, or who are honest, or who do things God's way. No, what he has done and he is valuing right now is who has the top dollar, who can hobnob me, who can pay the most. He has now turned the corner.
As the numbers drop off.
There we go. I'll shut up. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to have this show and I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to say what's right. And I don't care. I don't care that I can't pay for my stupid cars.
Leah, calm down.
No, I can't calm down because this is civilization ending, satanic, demonic nonsense. And we've got all these people clapping our way into oblivion. But you know what? It's Christmas.
Patriot Gallery says, PG here, I'm busy wrapping Christmas presents. Merry Christmas.
And I serve a God who judges.
Oh boy, Thomas Jefferson.
I serve a God who's not going to allow us to go down this path.
Amen. We're going to stop it.
And I don't put my trust in Trump to do the right thing. I don't put my trust in these billionaires to do the right thing. And if I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, then I got to start calling on God.
Amen.
To call these people into repentance.
Amen.
To call these people to a place where they recognize their sin, where they recognize that they are going against humanity. And I can't do it from a place of there is no God, even though they are godless.
Mm-hmm.
So, God, I just thank you that you are going to show yourself righteous.
Amen.
And true.
Come on.
And you will stop the march forward of this AI nonsense.
Yes.
And you will show Trump and everybody around him the plan of the enemy that would try to steal, kill, and destroy, that would seek to harm children and harm humanity. And I thank you, Father God, that you are going to raise up those who have morals and those who have been doing the right thing.
Yes.
And you are going to expose and cause to crash all those who have been lying and cheating and stealing behind the scenes. I thank you, Lord Jesus, that you came to overcome wickedness, that you came to overcome evil, and that your kingdom come. Your will be done. So, Father God, I pray that in America, your kingdom come, your will be done, that families will be made great again.
Come on.
That farms will be made great again.
Yes, Lord.
And in the midst of the push for AI, there is a surge of people who are getting back to the land.
Yes.
Who are getting back to natural living. And I do want to, I think I will
Amen.
I will end with this because this was good as we were bringing this up with, I don't want to talk about Biden. This is Nicole Shanahan, who is disappointed in a lot of things that Trump has done. She is very much along our lines of trying to get all this icky stuff out of our food and water.
She was running with Robert Kennedy Jr. as his vice president.
And I really like her. I think she's one of us. And here she's going to talk about our farmers.
The sick children of today, I'm going to talk about this on stage, but if you're looking at statistically what's happening is that a sick child today will grow up to be a sick adult, and that adult is going to have a hard time having their own children. Wow. And so when we talk about fertility, which is actually how I arrived to all of this, was looking at current fertility statistics. The reality is that it actually directly overlaps and it magnifies. So many of these childhood illnesses, if you don't address them in childhood, they get worse in adulthood. And oftentimes those individuals end up not being able to have children of their own. So it is, these are early signs of a very serious population decline. And
this is something that doesn't just affect the United States. We're seeing collapsing fertility rates all across the West.
Yep.
You see this in Taiwan has an issue with this. South Korea Japan have massive issues. Europe has massive issues with this. And I've seen, obviously, some governments have tried to explain it through economic incentives and family incentives, and I think I support that. I really do think that's great. But you think that there might be another way to come at this?
Nobody's counting the statistics of women trying and not able to conceive.
Wow.
And that is a statistic that is, I believe, intentionally being hidden. It's also no money is being put into tracking that. And so the families that, the heart wants to conceive, the body is not able to in many of these countries. So, I think that we address it, I've always said it, from the soil up. And that brings us to farmers, the American farmer. The American farmer is the only doctor you need. That and...
How do you like that, folks? The American farmer is the only doctor you need.
That's so good. That's so good. And I appreciate Nicole a lot. And I just want you to hear what she has to say about Donald Trump's ag pick and the Maha movement.
Because I know a lot of farmers out there are curious about what happened with the Maha involvement in Trump's Secretary of Agriculture nominee. And it ended up going to Brooke Rollins.
So it's supposed to be Thomas Massie with Joel Salatin, and it was just going to be the best thing on the planet.
Who is not someone I've ever come across in the agricultural world, certainly not within the regenerative agriculture world. And I know a lot of farmers out there saw that pick and were really upset. And so I wanted to share with you and our listeners what I saw happen and what happened behind the scenes, what we can expect, how we can continue to mobilize. But, going back to a few weeks ago, there was a committee formed, wonderful farmers, you know them, I know them, who were called by Bobby Kennedy's team and the Maha team. And there was a committee put together a list of farmers or entrepreneurs or leaders in the agriculture space who we would submit for consideration for nomination. And the team that came together, incredible names, leaders, real true leaders in the soil and regenerative movement came together, put together an exhaustive list, called everybody in the community and said who is interested in what role, who has the availability. I know you got a call too. Well, because we all adore you. And we submitted that list, and we had really high hopes that someone from our list would get the nomination. And what I heard was that at Mar-a-Lago at the time, there was this horse trading happening, and agriculture was put into a different bucket than the HHS departments. So FDA, CDC, NIH, those all kind of were under body.
Hang on. What? I don't know. They're telling me that the stream might be frozen.
Of course. My rant.
Let's see. Chat wasn't registering. Okay. All right. I think it's okay. Let me go back and keep playing it.
Bobby's umbrella, and then we were hoping for ag as well. We really were hoping. I mean, I was very loud about that during our suspension of the campaign and endorsing Trump, was that I had hope that we would get ag, and it would be tremendously transformative. We would fix many of the issues around protecting domestic production. We would work with farmers to help ease the challenge of vertical integration, which is so important, local processing, supply chain management, all of the things that they do pretty well in Europe, some of the things that they do really well in Canada. But in the United States, somehow we have failed so significantly. And so when it came down to the last few days before the ag pick was going to be confirmed, I went out to everybody I knew. I went out to even Steve Bannon, who is literally Donald Trump's biggest supporter. and he was on board. And I was hearing murmurs that at the table at Mar-a-Lago with all of the big decision makers, we got very close. And John Kempf even got close to getting the nomination. And they love the idea of a real regenerative Amish farmer representing an important cabinet position. But something happens, as it always seems to. and we got traded out. We got traded out for Brooke Rollins, who I honestly didn't know much about, but found out she's a CEO of America First Policy Institute, which raised $21 million, and most of that went to the MAGA PAC. And then during the first Trump administration, she was acting director of the United States Domestic Policy Council. And I've heard from a few people, because I did some, sniffing around, trying to figure out what she was actually like. And someone close to that first administration said, well, we feel that she may have sabotaged some of MAGA's efforts during Trump's first term. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what they were referring to. I'm still trying to figure that out. And then I was like, okay, what is her connection to ag? I really want to know. And I found out that she did 4-H as a child. So we have that going for us. But I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. I'm worried. I'm concerned. I heard rumors that maybe our deputy secretary of agriculture might be a Maha farmer. And I'm going to hold out hope that this is somebody that we can work with.
I'll hold out on that hope as well, although I'm not really optimistic about it. We'll see. I'll say this. I'm probably less enthusiastic over who is the Secretary of Agriculture than most people, because, and I hope it'll be different now, but there's been such a failing of the Department of Agriculture in general for a long time. Remember, there's so much money. Big ag, big tech, big food, big whatever. There's so much money that I really don't feel good about a political cure for our economic situation, no matter who the Secretary of Agriculture is. Just so much money going in now.
What an accent. Holy cow. I only heard that one in the movies. So, she also said, this is the last thing I'm going to share. Maybe we sing some songs or whatever. She says, months ago, Dr. Ron Paul gave me homework to study Cicero, the Roman statesman and philosopher who predicted the fall of the Roman Empire and tried to stop it. He refuses to compromise on its principles. Can they hear us?
No, well, they'll hear it, but they won't see it. There you
go. Of people who worked hard, thinking they were going to get virtuous leadership. Dr. Ron Paul is the oldest. Yes. He is the oldest living example of a politician whose life work has exhibited an uncompromising commitment to natural law and moralism, even when it's made him really unpopular.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. Months ago, Dr. Paul gave me homework. Study Cicero, the Roman statesman and philosopher who predicted
This is their stream
the Roman
glitching, not
Empire,
ours.
and he tried to stop it. Ron Paul is Cicero for the American Empire. He refuses to compromise his principles for the sake of convenience or political gain, and he is right. When we sacrifice the essence of what it means to live as a healthy, thriving country in the name of convenience or so-called progress, we risk losing everything that truly matters. So I will adjourn now with a proposal. Let's try to go to the stars. But maybe let's make America healthy again first.
That's good.
You know, I love Nicole's optimism because I was there 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we need a fresh dose of somebody who hasn't been burned too many times to bring a little bit of hope to the situation and a little bit more fight to the situation. But did you see the pain in her eyes when she was talking to the cattle rancher? And he said, I don't have hope there. And it was as if she had, and it's true, she had sat down with Trump. Trump had made her promises. The people around Trump had made her and Bobby promises. And she's been cheated on. And that was the look of a woman who's been told that she's loved, that she's valued, she's important, and somebody wants to spend the rest of their lives with you. And then you find out they're sleeping with your neighbor. And it hurts because you know what they said. And you believed them. And you know what's right. And so you have to believe that nobody could say the things like, yeah, we want to make America healthy again. We're going to put you in charge of finding this. We're going to, and the fact that she's with Charlie Kirk and she's rubbing shoulders, she's been in the meetings. She's had so much input, or so she thought. She was so excited. Joel Salatin, this happened to him too. He was assured that this is what's going to happen. But what he didn't understand was that that's not how politics works. Politics gauges, are you willing? There's a 5% chance that we might use you, but we talk to you like it is you to gauge where you're at.
The thing that's so heartbreaking for me about this whole situation is that Thomas Massie was supposed to be the pick. And he resigned. He won a unanimous re-election, literally unanimous. He didn't even have anybody that was running against him this past time in 2024. So Thomas had every opportunity to be back in Congress for us in 2025.
Oh, he will be. He never resigned. He didn't resign.
I thought he did resign.
No, just Matt Gaetz.
Okay.
Thomas didn't resign. He's going to be in Congress.
Okay, praise God then. All right, that's good. That makes me feel much better.
But he still was going. He had the position. It was offered to him, and he took it.
Yeah.
And Joel Salatin took it.
Okay.
So whatever is happening right now is all based on lies.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody says, "Are you guys back?"
Yes,
I'm
we're
back.
We're
Who's
good
with
there.
it? Who is that? Who is that dude? I don't know which one you're talking about. So, who wants to sing Christmas songs?
Happy Christmas. Okay, before we go though, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow, before we start singing Christmas songs, because sometimes people, I get it. Catherine, my best friend Catherine, doesn't even like to listen to interviews because it makes her feel awkward. So some people, the singing makes them feel awkward, and that doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But everybody else really likes it. Like we got the text message from Beth today. So as of tomorrow, I will have added Hope the Heifer's face and body butter with tallow
Yay.
to shop.resistancechicks.com. So for those of you that have been waiting on the beef tallow version of the, this is literally the first that I have ever made. And I have people that are counting on this for me. My best friend, Jessie in Texas, I've never been able to send her this because she can't do pork. Abigail's family keeps kosher, so little Abigail's going to get one of these as well. So I'm super excited about it. I have plenty for anybody that has been waiting to make their order until that came in stock, and now it's going to be there. So tomorrow, shop.resistancechicks.com. I'm not sure what time, probably late afternoon, evening, but then of course, anytime after that. So super excited about that. I can't even tell you, I can't keep the smile off my face. When the labels finally came today, I couldn't keep the smile off my face. It's literally the cutest thing ever. So very excited about that.
How about it came upon a midnight clear?
Now here's the problem.
No,
it's fine. But I like to pull up the lyrics, and my lyrics are never the same as your lyrics.
Well, we'll try.
So do you want me to try to bring up the lyrics?
Sure.
Or no? Okay.
It came upon a midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their hearts of gold. Peace on the earth, goodwill to men, from heaven, all gracious King. The world in solemn stillness lay, to hear the angels sing. Still through the cloven skies they came, with peaceful wings unfurled, and still their heavenly music floats o'er all the weary world. Above its sad and lowly plains, they bend on hovering wings, and ever o'er its babble sounds, the blessed angel sings. For lo, the days are hastening on, by prophets seen of old, when with the ever-circling years shall come the time foretold, when peace shall come and all shall own the Prince of Peace, their King, and saints shall meet him in the air, and with the angels sing. That's not the verse, and that's not a Revelation Red Pill verse, but that's okay.
That's awesome.
That's so funny.
I love that song. That's a really good song.
It is good.
Again, back to anybody that doesn't do Christmas. That's fine. Don't do Christmas on December 25th, but you had better be singing this song all year long. You know what I'm saying? Angels we have heard on high. Is that where we're going next?
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the Lord, the newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Let's do my lyrics.
Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? What the gladsome tidings be?
which inspire your heavenly song. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. If you guys have a request, you can put it in the chat, except for Barry, who's not allowed to ask for Jerusalem. Okay, technically you're allowed to ask, but we're not singing it.
Yeah, don't really know it.
It just hasn't been able to stick inside of me like I would like it to.
Yeah,
I would love for
There's
it to
that.
be there.
It needs to be a little stickier.
It's not sticking to me. It's not sticking to me.
The first Noel, the angels did say, unto first cold winter's night.
You know what? Hang on. Let's do this. The first Noel. Let's do the lyrics together. Okay. And then it's going to be great. I'm trying to find a good one. Sometimes they don't have good. I can't get it big.
Let's get it from the hymnal.
I can't get them big. I need a place where I can get it big. A lot of these hymnals, it's like, did I not spell Noel? Well, the hymn time ones are really small. And so I'm trying to skip those, but that's
good.
fine.
That's good.
It's not good actually.
That'll work.
It's not there.
It'll work.
Okay. Let's try again.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields where they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. And by the light of that same star, 3 wise men came from country far. To seek for a king was their intent, and to follow the star wherever it went. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. The star drew nigh to the northwest, o'er Bethlehem it took its rest, and there it did both stop and stay, right o'er the place where Jesus lay. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
There's
like a lot of verses to that one.
There's a lot of verses to that one. No requests. I can't believe you people. Oh, you guys do harmonize well together. Little Drummer Boy. Okay, love that. Rum pum 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 pum. Is it called Little Drummer Boy?
It is called Little Drummer Boy.
All right, here we go.
It's called that.
Okay, let's see if these can get big. All right, come they told me. Okay, well, let's make it. There we go. Come they told me, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. A newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. To lay before the king, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum, rum-pa-bum-bum, rum-pa-bum-bum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum, when we come. Little baby, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. I am a poor boy to pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. I have no gift to bring, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. That's fit to give a king, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum, rum-pa-bum-bum, rum-pa-bum-bum. Shall I play for you, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum, on my drum? Mary nodded, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. The ox and lamb kept time, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. I played my drums for him, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. I played my best for him, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum, rum-pa-bum-bum, rum-pa-bum-bum. Then he smiled at me, pa-rum-pa-bum-bum. Me and my drum, me and my drum, me and my drum. Chris says, I love the Jars of Clay version of this classic.
Let me just tell you, it's not in the Bible, but it's a good song.
Oh, it's the Grass. I love that song.
It's a good song.
But
it didn't. It's not.
Very nice.
Oh yes, she did.
And
then he smiled at me.
The ox and lamb kept time.
They did it.
Come on. Y'all know they did. Silent Night, Holy Night. And for King and Country. Frankly, for King and Country, best version ever. Because when they do that thing live, they got them big old drums, like boom, boom, boom. And they get there running across the stage, like banging. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, one of the ladies at Mom's Pulmonary was like, I really can't stand like the little drummer. Was like a first song. I was like, well, you haven't heard it from the King of Country.
Who said that? Mom said that?
No.
Oh, you didn't say that?
No,
okay.
It wasn't King of Country. I actually told her the wrong band to look up. I thought it was Bare Naked Ladies.
All right. So Silent Night. We did this just the other day, but we can do it again.
We'll do it.
Okay. Silent Night. Holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
We got a low version here.
Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. star Savior is born. You were supposed to take the harmony there.
I know. Is born.
Yeah, I was going to give you the harmony because I can do the low. I know. I've been doing this show for 7 years. It's lowered my voice.
I know.
All right, what's next? What do you want?
How about one we don't really
do you hear what I hear? From Shauna.
The night wind to the little land.
Do you hear what I hear? Lyrics. Yes, we do. Bing Crosby version? I guess that'll work.
Said the night wind
to the little lamb. This is going to be really high.
Do you see what I see?
Do you see what I see?
Way up in the sky, little lamb.
You want me to sing the
I'll
first
sing
part?
the second part.
Okay.
You have a hard time.
But we could sing it a little bit lower.
Said the night no, don't go lower because I can't handle I can't go there. It's too low.
That wasn't low?
It's too low for me. Okay, I'll follow you.
Said the night wind to the little lamb. Do you see what I see?
Do you see what I see?
Way up in the sky, little lamb. Do you see what I see?
Do you see what I see?
A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite. With a tail as big as a kite. You want to take it up? We can take it up.
I can just sing. I can just harmonize with you.
Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear?
Do you hear what I hear?
Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear?
Do you hear what I hear?
A song, high above the trees with a voice as big as the sea. With a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king. Do you know what I know?
Do you know what I know?
In your palace warm, mighty king. Do you know what I know?
Oh, do you know what I know?
A child shivers in the cold. Let us bring him silver and gold.
Call Annette, let us
She said, call Lynette. Let us bring him silver. You're worst. That's gotta be blasphemous.
No, it's great.
Said the king to the people everywhere. Listen to what I say.
Listen to what I say.
Pray for peace, people everywhere. Listen to what I say.
Listen to what I say.
The child, sleeping in the night. He will bring us goodness and light.
Oh,
he will bring us goodness and light. Woo. Once in Royal David City. Barry, nobody in America knows that song.
You know
it is not a song that we
one.
know.
It's been,
I saw 3 ships. Okay.
I don't think I have this one printed out. We're going to do this one.
All right. How about this one right here? You started
I
off.
saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what was in those ships, all 3 on Christmas Day? On Christmas Day. And what was in those ships, all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning? The Virgin Mary and Christ were there on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, the Virgin Mary and Christ were there on Christmas Day in the morning.
I gotta find the lyrics to match yours.
Pray whither sailed those ships, all 3 on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, pray whither sailed those ships, all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day. On Christmas
Christmas Day, and all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning.
And all the souls on earth shall sing on
Christmas Day, on Christmas Day, and all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning.
And all the angels in heaven
Shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day, and all the heavens and all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. We don't have those lyrics over here. That's good.
I never knew this one. And he did whistle and she did sing, and all the bells on earth shall sing for joy that our Savior was born on Christmas Day in the morning. On Christmas Day in the morning. Oh, really?
Well, I just think that the ones that more underappreciated songs, I'm just looking.
Dreaming of a white
Okay.
Christmas. Just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen.
Why does it say Michael Bublé?
Hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. Poor you people in Florida, it's not gonna happen. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I don't think there's anything else to that song.
I think that's it too. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Oh, Little Town of Bethlehem. Didn't we sing that one already?
I don't know.
We can always sing it again.
Oh, oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by. Yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all this above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wandering love. O morning stars together proclaim thy holy birth, and praises sing to God the King, and peace to men on earth. I hope y'all are singing with us. O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Come on, tenors. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep. Come on, the baritones. The silent stars go by. Where's the bass? Yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight.
Oh, come let us adore him. This will be the last one I'll do for tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, come let us
I think it's
adore
"Oh Come All Ye Faithful."
him. Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Same thing? Well, it should still come up, though.
I know. I'm just thinking.
I bet it comes up. No. Oh, come, let us adore
Yeah, but I think it's
him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Do you think they just pulled it out as they're like, they just pulled the chorus out? For he alone is worthy.
I think they just forget the first part.
Okay, oh, come all ye faithful. All right, let's do this. Oh, come all ye faithful. Here we go.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. O King, all ye citizens of Bethlehem. You're following the lyrics on the screen. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Yea, Lord, we greet thee, born this happy morning. Jesus, to thee be all glory given. Word of the Father, now in flesh appearing. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Boom. That was good. They liked it. I think they enjoyed it. So last but not least, jiggle in the middle.
What do you mean jiggle in the middle?
Well, I spend hours finding the right key before I put it in the chords.
Yep.
And sometimes it's too low. And then sometimes it's too high. But sometimes you get a little jiggle in the middle. It's just right.
That's what you're calling the jiggle in the middle, is the just right? So
Brighteon's got a Christmas
sale going on right now.
Christmas special, big one.
Brighteonstore.com, up to 46% off.
Huge.
Ranger buckets are 28% off. The nascent iodine, which I just found some of I was like, hey, my gosh, we have this. I thought we were out. 24% off. Vitamin D3 and K2. That's not even on sale. It says it's on sale. It doesn't look like it's on sale. Oh, my Hawaiian astaxanthin, still on sale, 29% off. Love it. Taking that all the time, every single day. What else? Collagen peptides, 9% off. Chlorella, isn't Patriot Gallery taking that? Clean Chlorella, 21% off. Organic Cocoa Energize, 18% off. That sounds like the Energize that we do at Dr. Syed's My Go-To Stack. Turmeric powder, organic turmeric powder, 26% off. What is this? Ooh, lung renewal. That sounds good. You're going to ignore the 2 salt with neem because their sale of $15.95, ours is cheaper. Just saying. Well, we have 2 salt with neem as well.
We got neem.
We got neem. Yes, we do. So anyway, so they've got a ton of stuff. They've got, you know what I love about the turmeric gold liquid extract? For those of us that do not want to put the powdered turmeric in our drinks, you can just take like a little shot of it. Boom. Love that. So that's super awesome. If you have joint issues, if you have like aches and pains, turmeric is a natural anti-inflammatory. So I take turmeric in capsule form every single day, but we make our own capsules here at home. Brighteon store, use promo code CHICK. So not only will you get the sale, that's the Christmas sale, but you get 5% on top of that. And then also if you sign up for their like program, you save cash back on that as well, which is super awesome. So brighteonstore.com, promo code CHICKS, sale going on right now. I don't know how long it goes on for. I want to say for like the next 5 or 6 days is till the 26th. So the day after Christmas at midnight. I'm not going to tell you what the free gift is. Okay, I'm going to. It says free tube of colloidal silver toothpaste with every order over $149. But that's a big order. So you can still get your toothpaste at shop.resistancechicks.com. All right, I think that's the end of our show. We'll be back here on Sunday for our world news program. Leah's clearly doing something very important that she can't end the show with us being present right this sec. Oh, online doctor. All right, that's important. No, that qualifies. You're not tweeting a tweet. No. Doctors count. You can do doctoring live on the show.
Okay, thanks.
Online doctor, I will let you do that. Okay, thank you to all of our subscribers. If you want to subscribe on Rumble for 5 little tiny in fiat dollars a month, you just click the subscribe button and then you get a little thing next to your name that says I subscribe. I don't think we have super chat enabled on YouTube, and we probably won't. Although you can do that on Rumble, by the way.
Super chat.
They have like a super chat on Rumble. Whoa, Paige, somebody just dropped something upstairs. But your prayers mean more to me than any cash fiat dollars. So thank you guys for all of your prayers. When you send us messages, I'm going to tell you something. It means a lot. Like you don't even know. Like it encourages us to keep going. The endless hours and days that we work and we, do research and we post shows and all this, that, and the other, it makes it worth it when you guys say, hey, you know what? We really like it. And I'm not trying to solicit that, but I just want you to know that when you do say it, it means something. So thank you guys for that. We will see you, like I said, on Sunday for our world news program. I don't know. It looks like YouTube shut off. That's weird. No. But also Monday night in the house.
Dr.
Okay, not really in the house. Dr. Artist on the Outliers, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You guys are gonna love it. You will love it. You will love it. Tell your friends.
I will have a promo video out Sunday night that you can share with all of your friends. Tell them to come watch live because it's so much more fun to watch things live together, even though it's a live premiere, not really live. But it was a great interview that we did with him yesterday. Had so much fun. It was his wife Jane's birthday.
And Mom started crying.
And Mom got to talk to him ahead of time and started. She wanted to meet him and she came on camera. You won't get to see that because she won't go on camera. But it was like awesome to see that little exchange. She's like, you helped save my life. And she was crying, which is super cool. So that'll air on Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, Tuesday we'll be doing a Christmas Eve special, which will be fun, I think. Right? Are we doing it Tuesday or are we going to do it Wednesday or Thursday? Maybe we might do a Thursday night, like opening of package and like a regular, I don't know. We'll see.
And we'll try to do it pre-Christmas.
Okay. So we'll be here Tuesday night.
Sometimes we do things on Christmas Day.
You never know. Depends on what we got going on.
See what we've got going on. We don't have a lot of pet sitting normally I'm running visits and
I know. It's kind of nice.
Weird.
I can send out my packages. All my friends and family, what are they getting? They're getting stuff from shop.resistancechicks.com. I'm so excited about it. Okay, we'll see you guys next time right here from Resistance Chicks. We love you. God loves you. God bless. I'm so thankful for each and every single one of you, and I pray that you have a very blessed pre-Christmas weekend. Can we play it on Sunday?
He just wants us to know the people are the elderly are cold. And yeah,
in the UK, that's terrible.
Will you please upload a video of your Christmas songs? You girls sing so well.
You know what? Your check is in the mail. Keep an eye out. Just kidding.
Said it twice, by the way.
Oh, so you know what I think I'm going to add tomorrow to the website?
What?
And I'll limit it to how many we have in stock, and then I'll reorder some with every purchase that's made. I'm going to add the Founders Bible, signed Founders Bible. If you do not need a signed version of the Founders Bible, just go to thefoundersbible.com. Use promo code Resistance Chicks. You save 20% of the checkout.
You're not paying more for our signature.
It's just an avenue of which, like, we have them in stock and we can, but I have a limited amount, and then I'm going to have to reorder some more.
If you want a signed one,
but if you want one signed from us, I'm going to make that available on the website. I just have to work out the promo code so that you can still get the promo code on our website as well. So I'm going to make sure that works.
You know that other people have this thing called Cameo, and you can send people messages and you pay them money.
We will not charge for us signing the Founders Bible. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
I just feel like
it's gross.
It's weird.
That's super weird. So I'm going to make sure you can still get the 20% on our website. So the promo code Resistance Chicks will still work on our website. So hopefully when I upload this onto our new shop, the Tallow, I'll put the Founders Bible on there too.
I'm excited because I'm working on toothpaste. We have tooth powder. But I was concerned about sending toothpaste in the mail. But then you send your lotions, you know. So, packaging and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I just thought the tooth powder was the easiest. And a lot of people have been doing tooth powders, and I like the tooth powder, and I've been using tooth powder for a long time. And I go back and forth. I go back and forth between the tooth powder and the toothpaste and I found that I am a big kid, and I just love peppermint and spearmint. Like, I just love them. Like, I want the zing.
I thought these was gonna ring more today.
And you get more of the zing. It like the essential oils work better with the paste, and you get more of a zing.
Oh, 100%.
So for kids, I'm gonna call it for adult kids and for little kids, the Kid in Me toothpaste, because we're gonna do one with extra peppermint and spearmint and xylitol.
We're gonna be coming out soon. We're going to have a total of 4 tooth options. Teeth options.
Because one I want to do is extra activated charcoal.
So that'll like make your teeth like squeaky.
But you don't want to use activated charcoal every single day,
right?
Because it can tear away at your enamel a little bit. But
so you'll have like a variety of things like that you can.
The activated charcoal is for whitening, right? I have a little bit in the tooth powder, but I didn't want to put in a lot because it's like it's 1:1 on all my ingredients. Except that the tooth powder, the activated charcoal in the tooth powder is a quarter. Okay, because I don't want to overwhelm your teeth. I want it to be a daily. But if you want the whitening, and that kind of the heavy duty, and then the color I know is a little weird for people. When especially you're adding like the dark thing. Yeah, black.
I think people are used to that with activated charcoal. Yeah. Everything is black.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so I'm also got, we're going to do a Build Back Better. Because I don't know if I can call it remineralizing.
Because of like, we don't want to be Amos Millard.
Right. So there's 2 kinds of calcium we're going to add.
Nice.
And I have made, see, the problem is when we put together this particular tooth powder.
This one, the whole mouth care. It's great.
I do my body stuff like I cook.
Little bit.
It's never the same recipe.
Except for this is now.
That is because you got to put it on the label and you got to stick with it, right? So I got to stick with it.
But Leah likes variety.
I am the person. So if you could like be at the menu and you could be like, can I order 4 things and I want to try each one? Doesn't mean I want to sit down and eat it all. It means I want to try them all. So we've got the activated charcoal one coming out, like the whitening one. These are going to be pastes because I like the paste because I want to add more peppermint and spearmint because I want you to be like zing, right? Because it's fun. It's just fun.
Wait a minute, we're not going to have a paste with the clove and the cinnamon flavor?
I don't know. That would make 5, but we could do it.
Okay. I like the clove and the cinnamon.
And I thought about it too because like I like lemon.
Couldn't we make
I like this? Lemon. And lemon's good for your teeth. Lemon essential oil
in a paste. Then I could just keep using these same labels. Oh no, because then we add coconut oil.
You have to add coconut oil to the label. I think
I could write it on there plus coconut oil.
You could plus coconut oil. You could put it like right down.
But then it wouldn't be tooth powder. It would be toothpaste. Yeah, I'd have to get new labels.
I know. I'm ruining Michelle with the labels.
It's okay. I just ordered 8,000 of these labels. That's okay. It's all right.
I wish that there would be like they could be interchangeable somehow, but you can't. Sorry,
I can't. No.
Oops.
But it's okay. Good news is we're going to have variety. And you know who I was telling this to Leah. I'm not trying to advertise for anybody else, but Redmond Salt has a variety of tooth powders. And they have some ingredients that you hadn't even seen it yet. And you were telling me, hey, I've done some research. I want to add these new ingredients and make some more options because I've done some more research and this looks really great. And the Redmond Salt people have that stuff in there.
Xylitol is actually really good for your teeth, but it's a
not good for
sweetener
dogs.
too. But you got to keep it away from your dogs. Just keep it away from your dogs. Okay, keep it away from the dogs.
But it doesn't make it a toxic chemical for humans or anything.
No.
Yeah, totally. It's
but
like
you're not going to swallow this stuff, are you? You're going to spit it out because we're not making consumables. I wonder what would be the problem with like selling brownies, like for real.
Well, that's cottage food laws. All right, we got to go. We will see you guys on Sunday for our World News program. You guys are amazing, and I'm just praying that you guys have a blessed time, that no one feels lonely this holiday, that everybody feels loved and valued and cherished and all the things. You have to get a
commercial kitchen for that stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm speaking of commercial. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to play the commercial that the Bright.News. We are over there now. The producers of Brighteon.tv now have BRYT.news. BRYT.news. We are one of the featured shows over there. I'm sending them every single one of our shows, which is super uber exciting. And so if you're watching us over there, we are so glad that you are tuning in. So BRYT.news. The producers over there, who are also friends of ours, put together this following commercial that we are going to play right now. And then we're going to say goodnight. Good night, you all. We love you.
and He desires for us to work with our hands, to take joy in the gifts He has given us in this earth.
Starting it over.
The long wait is over and it's finally open. The Resistance Chicks General Store. Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Sisters Leah and Michelle Svensson have been making their own home, health, and personal care products for well over a decade and are now bringing you everything you've been asking for, like the Oil of Joy Original Collection, deodorant for men and women, face and body soap, lavender oatmeal, homestead hands, face and body butter, Oil of Joy, soap products, and much, much more. These products are amazing and so good for your skin. We realize that many of our health issues can be traced back to the harmful chemicals and ingredients in most of the products on the shelves today. But even more than that, we believe that our Creator, God the Father, gave us everything for life and godliness, and He desires for us to work with our hands, to take joy in the gifts He has given us in this earth to enrich our daily lives. To learn more about all of these amazing products, visit shop.resistancechicks.com and place your order today before quantities are sold out. You deserve to treat yourself to the best spa day ever. You deserve the products from the Resistance Chicks Joy Collection, only at the Resistance Chicks General Store. Is any sick among you? Let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord, and the prayer of faith shall heal the sick.